Good morning and welcome to the Burnside Bowling Club here in Christchurch for day 6 of the Summerset National Championships in slightly overcast conditions here today, as we'll play right throughout the day. Today's program we will see will be live coverage of the B1 and B2 visually impaired singles, which is just getting underway out in front of us here. And also the partially sighted final as well has been played at the same time, and we will cross over to those games. We'll be watching a bit of both. Also, which is going on, of course, is section play of the men's pairs. There was 3 rounds played yesterday around the greens of Christchurch, and a further 3 to be played today, and requiring 4 out of 6 to qualify. And the women's singles as well. 3 rounds played yesterday, a further 3 today, with 4 out of 6 to qualify. So a big day on the greens of Christchurch, and I'm sure the weather, we'll be through the weather without any problems whatsoever. This early morning cloud and sort of light drizzly rain will disappear. The greens here at Burnside in stunning condition. And we'll be firstly covering the game between Tom Boyd of the Burnside Bowling Club here in Christchurch, with his wife Gay as the director, and Dean Robertson, also of the Burnside Club here in Christchurch, with Kevin Smith as his sighter. You'll see there now, there's Kevin Smith just standing in front of the mat. Kevin Smith, one of the real sort of advocates. He's been a great advocate for the blind bowlers here in New Zealand, and been part of the New Zealand scene for a number of years. And for those sitting at home watching, to watch these ladies and gentlemen play, it's just absolutely outstanding. To be able to get their weight right and everything else, and with the assistance of their director, is not only an achievement of their own, but also an achievement of their directors as well. And it certainly highlights and confirms that the sport of lawn bowls is a game for all. And that's, I think, one of the big pluses going forward as we move our way to, hopefully, in 2032, long way away. I understand that bowls is possibly going to be part of the Olympics in Australia, and we're hoping that, of course, bowls will be part of that. And I can see both of the paras and the blind bowlers certainly forming part of that, highlighting, of course, the Olympic spirit that they cover all sports for all people. So we're underway here at Burnside, and you'll see a marker out there who will no doubt indicate the shot. And remembering, these players are virtually, I'm not saying they're totally blind, but certainly very much visually impaired. And that's why, of course, they have got a director with them who'll be indicating to them how far, the length of the head, where they should play, and to assist them on the mat and give them instruction of where they should be playing. You'll see Kevin Smith there, player, and Dean Robertson crouching down on the mat, and Kevin Smith will be giving him instructions in the bowl. See, so you'll see his foot there for the guide, and he knows that's where he's got to be playing from, just inside that foot. He knows that's there. There's the bowl on its way, and you'll see already that you know, these visually impaired players are certainly more than capable of being able to draw shots and play in a normal environment. And another fairly good weighted bowl there from Dean Robertson, first to 21 in these finals. And also, as I say, we'll be going to the other semi-final, which is the final, the other partially sighted final, that of Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse and Karen Wheeler of North East Valley. So we've got Tom Boyd on the mat with his wife, Gay. There he is. You see the foot out. He's down, kneeling out there. She knows where the foot is, a bit way the bowl goes on the backhand. Just amazing and great to see these players out in action. Won't have the weight, I don't think. No, it doesn't. The greens here in Burnside in absolutely pristine condition. Now we might see here Kevin Smith, the guide for Dean Robertson, might see possibly a change of hand, because whether he can get under that shortish bowl there of Tom Boyd's will be somewhat questionable. So you see there, Kevin Smith giving the instructions, putting that foot out. Again, looks as though Robertson is going to play down on his forehand. Give me the bowl that swing. You see his arm is in a good position to get good green on the bowl. Here,
good.
Gets hold under the arm of his guide, Kevin Smith. If this bowl gets under this short bowl, has it got the weight to get all the way down towards the jack? It's still, no, it won't. So we'll wait to see what the, as they come to the end. It's 2-1 to Thomas Boyd over Dean Robertson. 2-1 in the race, 2:21. And we'll be bringing you part of this match, and we'll also be bringing you part of the other. We'll be covering both matches, and we trust that you enjoyed our coverage 2 days ago of the men's singles final, where we saw Kelvin Scott of Elmwood Park defeat Tony Grantham of Mount Albert in Auckland, and that was a 1 to Thomas Boyd. And in the women's final, we saw the combination of Sandra Keith and Bev Morrell defeat Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra. The second time, unfortunately, for Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra, that they have been defeated in finals in Christchurch. 2 years ago, they were defeated by Caitlin Inch and Selena Goddard. So the home ground for Taylor Bruce to date hasn't been a winning field for her in the New Zealand pairs, losing 2 finals. So the jack will be delivered now by Tom Boyd, who is leading by 3 shots to 1. And very short head here. It'll just be a question of whether it's up the required distance or not. The marker is putting it straight on to the centre line, so it would appear an agreement that it's okay. And we'll get that board to change in a moment. I'm sure it's 3-1, but we'll just wait for that in a moment. In this race 2:21, in this B1, B2 visually impaired New Zealand blind bowls final. And of course, Commonwealth Games coming up. The visually impaired and the paras, of course, will be part of the Bowls New Zealand full side when selected to go to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. So here is Tom Boyd on his backhand.
Well, here I think Tom. Let's wait, Dan. He's still got the mat.
And it's very much shorter length, and this is a very good opening bowl from the Burnside player. It's falling slightly lower the jack, but in a good starting bowl.
2017, players is 26. Little finger to the right. Good. Just a little bit of angle. Front foot. Good.
So Kevin Smith doing his guidance to his player. That swing of the arm. It's just fantastic to see these people out on the greens with playing as well, of course, with the able-bodied, and just seems to be coming back towards the centre line. Very good weight there from Dean Robertson, just slightly wide of where he'd like to be. So now we'll see the second bowl from Tom Boyd.
Half a yard to the left. He's similar distance short, I think.
Wife Gay just lining up those instructions. Be interesting, and no doubt we'll find out throughout the day, of how the guide or the guide of the player actually determines and communicates the message, the distance, the width. That on its own is quite a skillful, I'd say a skillful thing to do, because they're certainly totally reliant on you as the backhanders. Tom Boyd, again, looks to be on a similar line to what is first. Won't have the weight, but again...
Which bowl shot, Wendy, please?
Right back to the centre line, highlighting one of the... that's what this game is all about, is getting back to the centre line to be able to score. And on his knee gets Dean Robertson from the Burnside Club. Some instructions from Kevin Smith, who's been involved with the New Zealand Blind Bowls Association for a number of years and has travelled with New Zealand teams all around the globe in their various events they've had at Commonwealth Games, World Championships.
Sorry, buddy.
As you'll see.
Is it right there? Yep.
Kevin Smith. Good bowl on his own right of the Burnside club. Now playing on the forehand is Dean Robertson. It's on its way. Doesn't want to get tangled up in the front bowls.
Not too bad.
Just question will it come back all the way towards the jack. Looks to have fairly good weight, but will it come all the way back? Yes, it's working its way back now, and that'll certainly be the shot. That bowl of Dean Robertson, you see it just fall in towards the jack, and again, you'll notice again, right on that centre line, or literally right on the centre line. So Gay Boyd, the wife of Tom, giving him those last minute instructions, and that foot is certainly that's the guide point, and it's verbalised to them as well, I would imagine. Look narrow out of the hand, and you'll see wife Gay just assisting Tom, and it wasn't in fact narrow, it was wide, didn't have the direction to make its way into the head. 3-2, it's
two more.
Tom Boyd who is leading Dean Robertson. These two Burnside players. Great to see here at Burnside. There is a number of para and disabled bowlers and blind bowlers who are accommodated here at Burnside, and it's fantastic how the Burnside club has been a real advocate, and for it would appear that for the visually impaired and para bowlers here in Christchurch, that Burnside is certainly a very accommodating club. And you know, for people who are out there who may know people, have relatives or whatever, and we all know that some of the challenges that these people face to be able to play so many of other sports. Well, here you can see bowls is certainly a game whereby, regardless of what may be, you can still get out here on the green with a bit of assistance and take part. And of course we've seen some of our para players, of course, who play alongside the bowl here coming in from Tom Boyd. This may well draw the shot, just going to go by if it falls in.
Position,
no doubt
please.
I'll ask the marker here now who's got the shot.
He went through a foot, I think. We might stop.
And indication from the marker.
How far did Tom's bowl go past the jack? Half a metre, wow. Yep, thanks. Okay, we'll stay on the forehand, Dean. Draw a shot. Looks closer to my glasses. These glasses are amazing, they're magnifying.
So yep, Kevin Smith again giving those instructions.
Yeah, stay that arc, good.
And I do know that Burnside have gone that extra mile, and within the overall facilities here that they offer here at Burnside, certainly for the disabled and visually impaired players, the facilities here at Burnside certainly accommodate them all well. So this the last bowl of Dean Robertson, trailing 3-1. This looks another good bowl from look at this, it breaks towards the jack. In fact, it touches, it's right on top of the jack. Well played from the Burnside player. Moved the jack though, won't be two. I think it would be two.
Here? Where was the jack?
Just waiting for Gay, the guide for Tom Boyd, just to check. And unfortunately, with the touch of the jack, just may have moved it a fraction too far, and gave the shot to Tom Boyd. Moved the jack a couple of inches, just a couple of inches too far, but played two superb bowls there, did Dean Robertson. And if he didn't have the shot, he's desperately unlucky, because he certainly played
about half a metre, but never mind.
Good bowls, two good bowls, very good bowls on that particular end, and it was one to Boyd. So it's 4-1 now to Thomas Boyd, also of the Burnside club. See New Zealand selector there and New Zealand coach Peter Bellis sitting there alongside Evan Stevens, who I presume he would have something to do with Colin Wheeler, perhaps. Both the Dunedinites. Wheeler, of course, played last year and got beaten in the final last year in Auckland, but not to be.
Tom's gone long again. Full 2 metres. If he goes in the ditch, if he didn't, we'll take the match.
So Jack's been delivered.
You're very stiff. You moved the Jack. Tiny bit.
And a longer length of this particular end. (4-1) in the race to 21. Thomas Boyd from Burnside. And remembering, we'll be covering part of this match, and then we'll also be crossing over to the partially sighted, final between Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse and Kieran Wheeler of Northeast Valley. So great opening bowl here from Boyd, just coming down towards the Jack, draws right on top of the Jack, moves it just off the centre line.
Still at 2 metres.
It's a toucher.
Left the centre line about
Well
a foot.
played by the Burnside player,
Tom.
with the assistance of his wife, Gay, who's there still giving them instructions. No doubt telling to Tom that he drew a touch-up, and he moved the Jack slightly off the centre line. And what the distance now is to the Jack, I would imagine.
Through the toe.
I don't think they're talking about who's making the coffee or tea tonight. I'm sure they're talking their game tactics, which is the role of the guide in these events, as we see this first bowl of Dean Robertson's. A great effort here, and of course, with the Jack moving off the centre line, he certainly had the weight to where the Jack was initially. And our marker in this particular game, Margaret Gray, out there with the Summerset umpire new attire, of which the umpires have got now. Of course, they were in different colours prior to this, green, brown, I can't remember what it was, but it was that was different. They certainly look great now in their new Summerset attire. Do the umpires here at this National Championship, as we watch now Tom Boyd leading 4-1. Drew a toucher with his first. His wife Gay just giving that instruction. This looks to be on a good line as well. This bowl from the Burnside player, breaking down towards the centre line now, down towards the Jack. Has it got the weight to get all the way? Not quite, but was certainly on an excellent line to get all the way to the Jack.
Same speed.
So the weight from Dean Robertson with his first bowl actually wasn't that far away, just needs to adjust slightly. And Kevin Smith would have given him those instructions, no doubt. So down, kneeling on the mat, you'll see him gives that one big swing back and then gets to the delivery. And
Arc's good, Dean. Arc's
again,
excellent line.
Looks to be.
Speed's handy, I think.
We'll just see in a moment whether it's got the line and weight. Don't think it's going to get all the way down to the. No, it's not. That's short of, well short. So Kevin Smith will be giving instructions to his player of how far he was short. Just as Gay Boyd is now instructing husband Tom where he needs to go of the weight. Of course, just getting it all right up top and above the shoulders department, getting it into your mindset of more than likely the weight you've got to use. Just feeling his way to make sure, there he is, making sure that he feels his feet are on the right position on the mat. And then wife Gay standing there to say, right, you just got to play out here inside my foot. And it's on its way. And again, that bowl you could see out of the hand started on that very, very good arc to the head. And this looks another good bowl from Boyd as it breaks in towards the centre line and Jack now. And it certainly will be. Just going to sit in on the shot bowl.
2 metres to yours, buddy.
And they're two magnificent bowls. And not trying to be blasé about it. They're two good bowls. Whether, if you're a fully sighted player, you'd be pretty happy with those two bowls. I know Collins sitting alongside me here would agree that if we get the two bowls, which are the shot bowls, are certainly of a high standard on this 3/4 length head.
Nice.
And Dean Robinson here will be trying to adjust that weight, which he's struggled with his first two bowls. Kevin Smith's talking to him, just guiding him back off the mat, you'll see there. And we'll see the bowl in a moment of Robertson's.
Very good, really.
Had the weight, was just on the outside of the head area. Of course, the jack has been moved off that centre line, which just makes it a wee bit more challenging. And Gay Boyd giving those instructions again, pacing out something about, it'll be interesting, I really want to find out, and I will find out, and bring it to you, of how they determine with this, the standing out in front of the mat, the message to, about the distance and line, and so the part that the guides play or the assistants play in this blind bowls is very, very important to give the players that sensory idea of where they need to be delivering or endeavouring to position their bowls. So here's the last bowl of Tom Boyd's now. And another fantastic bowl here from the Burnside player. Just drops by the jack. But there's three bowls, or four bowls really, of which, anybody would be happy with those. Holding at least three is Tom Boyd and leading 4 shots to 1. And the other match, which we will come to you as well, we'll move the cameras around to that game as well, is the game between Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse and Kieran Wheeler of Northeast Valley in the partially sighted final.
Arm was a bit slow.
And so there we go. Scene's completed now.
Going.
We'll see where this bowler is. A good effort here from Dean Robinson. Just going to quite have the weight to get to the shot bowls. And I can see at least 3, whether it be 3 or 4.
We'll
have a look in but a moment. The marker,
1, 2,
Margaret
3.
Gray, will no doubt give some assistance if required as well.
Well played. Good bowls.
So we'll see in a moment whether it was 3 or 4 shots to
good track, beautiful track. It was nice.
Tom Boyd.
It was only a yard.
Leading 4-1, will at least be 7-1 after this end in this race to 21. But look, let's just put our hands together and just congratulate these players who you don't call it a disability, I'll just call it their.
Sure, it's cold wind down here.
They're different to the fully sighted players,
it's sitting on the bank.
But it's fantastic to be able to see them out fully active, out on the greens, participating, having their own national championships. Absolutely fantastic to see.
Yep.
And of course, in the able-bodied, we have seen a number of the para players who do take part in the normal events as well. So we'll just wait for Margaret Gray. We'll get an update whether that was 3 or 4 to Tom Boyd. And here's, you see there on the mat, his wife Gay standing out in front. And it was a 3-7-1. On the backhand, this is the Burnside player. Of course, they're both Burnside players. Out of the hand, there's looked to be on the narrow side, slightly out of the hand. That first 6 feet of the bowl track, and it will be, and falls low of the jack.
Then we go, bud.
Adjustment by about a metre. And of course, Margaret Gray,
set up good.
The marker really gives her indications to the directors of the head of the stages of the head. That's Gay, the wife of Tom Boyd, and Kevin Smith. I would say literally the pioneer of the Blind Bowls Association here in New Zealand. This is a well-green bowl here from Dean Robertson. And just a question, how's the weight? Certainly had the line, but it's going to fall well short of where he wanted to be. But certainly the green direction was certainly in the right area.
Good.
So here again now is Tom Boyd. He'll play again on his backhand, just to adjust slightly. His wife, Gay, would have given him that instruction, no doubt. So there is Boyd on his backhand, certainly on a wider arc with this particular second bowl, that's for sure. How far it will come back with the weight, it's not going to get all the way back, that's for sure. Now, whether we'll see Kevin Smith and Dean Robertson may change hands. It's still comfortable for them to draw down. Although they were a long, long way short of the head, those two bowls. And again, just talking as the head director, Kevin Smith, to his player, Dean Robertson. Just giving those instructions of what needs to be done in the way of weight and direction. Alex on hand, just delivers the Powerade. He's a good manager. And look, a big thank you to Tamara, Colin and Alex from Bowls New Zealand, who are really the brains behind this live streaming coverage which we bring to you. As we watch this bowl, there's a good bowl here of Robertson, just going to get a touch on the jack. He does off the centre line and moves it. Well played from the Burnside player. And the production of which Tamara, Colin and Alex are able to bring now to the audience, to bowlers, whether it be on their soon-to-be post-production shows or whatever it may well be. The live streaming quality is of TV capability, obviously, and is of TV quality. And I can assure you the work that they do, they're here very, very early in the morning, getting things ready, running cables out all around the green, cameras. We've got a multitude of cameras here. We're sitting inside in our own designated room here at Burnside, and there's monitors and all sorts of things I can't understand. And so Tamara and Colin and Alex are the brains behind this Bowls New Zealand live streaming package, and I can assure you that between the Bowls New Zealand and Bowls Australia, they are producing a product which is of the highest standard, highest quality, and full marks for the enterprise of taking on board this live streaming exercise for our sport. And thank you, of course, as well to Sky Sport Next and www.stuff.co.nz, who make sure that we bring you plenty of live bowls coverage, and we've got a full summer of bowls on the calendar this year. Immediately after the National Championships, we'll be covering the Burnside Piers here in Christchurch, and in fact the week after that we'll be down in Taranaki, and we'll be covering the final stages of the Taranaki Open fours. So I just sit behind the microphone, and there's these three people are the people that really put all this together, and thanks to them and Bowls New Zealand for this initiative and being able to bring this coverage right throughout the final stages of the Summerset National Championships, as we see Thomas Boyd down on the head in this bowl on Dean Robertson. That's wide, and I would imagine it becomes exceptionally challenging for these players, even with their directors on the head, once the jack gets moved off the centre line, to sort of find the actual right line must be a challenge in communication, I would imagine. So feeling his foot is Tom Boyd. Make sure he feels he's in the right position. Wife Gay standing a metre also out in front of the mat. He knows that,
It's on his last ball.
and he'd had that instruction from his wife, Gay. So, on its way, needs to get past this very front bowl of his own, which it's going to do so. And this is a great effort here from Tom Boyd. Jack's moved right off the centre line. This is a magnificent response. And just slides past the Jack. And asking the marker, Margaret Gray, who's got shot, and it is it is Dean Robertson who is holding shot. So Kevin Smith giving him those last minute instructions of things have changed, so you need to just get that brain thinking and body position right
To be tight there. It's all good.
of where you're going to endeavour to place this bowl. And I can tell you in the other semi-final, or other final going on, it is 8-6 at present in their race to 21. That's the game between Donald Stevens and Kieran Wheeler of North East Valley, and a beaten finalist last year. And this bowl of Dean Robertson's is going to be wide of the target. He'll be quite happy to score. He played a magnificent bowl to move the Jack off that centre line.
Cold down that other end, isn't it?
The marker, Margaret Gray, had already confirmed that it was the shot prior to.
One to Dean. One to Dean.
Yeah, one to Dean. Yeah.
Well done, Dino.
Come up to me, Cub.
So Kevin Smith now moving them, bringing the mat out
We'll have a go in here.
for his player, Dean Robertson.
Right.
And he, in fact,
You
has
feel this, Jack?
brought the mat up.
23s wasn't thought. You can do this easy. Good.
So we've certainly seen a change of, will be a change of length with the mat being moved quite a way up. But the problem might be it is that the
2 metres.
Jack
That's fine.
goes
No,
into
don't
the
stop here.
ditch. So that means Jack will be sent back by the marker,
We'll get to you.
Margaret Gray. And Tom Boyd will be able to place the mat where he wishes to.
All good. That's a good throw.
So we'll be bringing you another final after this from the Burnside Greens. And of course we'll have live coverage again tomorrow.
Haven't seen it. 23
And
throw,
then
Jack. I
on
did
the
one
9th,
down,
we'll be bringing
fast,
you
fast.
the finals of the men's pairs
Just
and the
one.
women's singles, of which right now they're playing round 4 of 6 of their section play around the greens of Christchurch, with requiring 4 out of 6 to qualify for post-section play, which will get underway tomorrow around the greens of Christchurch.
Right.
And of course earlier we saw
There we go.
the men's singles final between Tony Grantham of Mount Albert in Auckland and
Go. finger tighter.
Kelvin
Good.
Smith,
Just where we played before down here, Dean.
and it was the Cantabrian Kelvin Scott who ran out the winner over Tony Grantham. And we also had the women's pairs, and we had the Canterbury combination of Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce up against also Canterbury composite combination, Bev Morrell
Good opener.
and Sandra Keith.
the Jack.
And
Beautiful.
Keith and Morrell
I'll go to the bathroom.
ran out the winners. Good opening bowl here from
Well done, Dean. You're
Dean Robertson.
6
Sits
inches
right
right.
alongside the Jack, trailing by 7 shots to 2. But that's a fantastic opening bowl in this race, 2:21. And of course, also it must be said that with Bev Morrell winning a New Zealand Championship, and she gave an absolutely sublime performance on the greens. at 80 years of age certainly highlights that age is no barrier, and was absolutely outstanding right throughout the final. And talking to her after the final, she was absolutely delighted in her victory with Sandra Keith. First time playing with Sandra Keith, I think, in a national championship, and brought home the gold medal. Outstanding effort. So we've seen now Thomas Boyd deliver his bowl, with him leading 7-2 over Dean Robertson in this race, 2:21, having a chat with his director, Gay, and he's moved the jack. What a magnificent bowl. The jack was sitting right on the 2 metre mark. He came down. The bowl of Dean Robinson was very, very close to the jack. It's got a touch, a drag on the jack, moved it back down off the 2 metre mark to
How far from the ditch is the jack, please?
to take the centre, take the jack off the centre line. I'm joined now by Alex Reid from Bowls New Zealand.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Fantastic, thank you, mate.
That's good. I thought I'd come down and give you some country in the commentary box.
Thank you, thank you.
Extra yard to the right.
I've been informed that we're shortly going to flick over to the other singles
Go
final as
one
well,
more yard
Kev.
on your bowl.
To the Donald Stevens and Kieran Wheeler match.
That's right, so they will be flicking across to that, I
Don't
think, at the
steal that
completion
watch.
of this
Go-
evening. We'll
go
see how
to
they're getting
a
on.
yard over the
So,
ditch, it's always
Alex,
fine.
as a Bowls New
On the
Zealand,
draw.
well, the tournament, I'm going to call you the what would I call you? The one of the
As long as it's
managers of the
nice.
tournament.
Yeah, okay, yep, that sounds good.
Great to see, isn't it? You know, these blind and
It's a handy
parabolas in action, and
Yeah, pretty handy speed.
you know,
too.
you've been
Some
a
good bowls. you
above
fellas.
average bowler yourself.
Close
Look
to
at this
getting the
bowl
shot
here.
back,
It's
yeah.
going to fall short of the line, is it? Yes, it will, but no, it won't. In fact, it would be shot. Now,
Well done, fella.
that would be a good bowl regardless, wouldn't
Yeah, I'd be happy. It's great. It's great to see. It's great to see them integrated into our Summerset Nationals. Kev, in the past, the organisations and the deaf organisation as well, which is the third one, have had nationals separate to
Right.
the Bowls New Zealand ones. It's really cool to see them sort of come into the fold, as you will, and we've been able to include them as part of our 9 days of bowls here.
Well, you being the very knowledgeable person that you are, might be able to give me a wee bit more of an insight into the use of the foot here by the director, and no doubt verbalising the message as well. That's the important part, no doubt, where the foot
Yeah,
that gets communicated
yeah.
for the direction point.
Yes, that helps them find their line. I think everyone's different. I think they all come up with their own slightly different systems, but that would be the line. So when,
Well, this
oh,
might get
into
the
the
jack.
ditch.
This is the jack into the ditch. Have a
What
look at this.
bowl.
Have a look at that. And sits right alongside it.
That is as good as it gets. Jack in the ditch for 2, and it's a touch. He's had 2 touches, has he?
He's had 2 touches. Yeah, he certainly has. Moved the... You'll see that mark of the 2 metre mark there where the jack was sitting right there, right alongside the bowl of Dean Robertson. And down came Tom Boyd, moved the jack off the centre line. And, of course, we're playing on greens that are still... I'm not saying they're lightning fast, but they're pretty quick. And to judge your line and everything is perfectly...
Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant shot there from Thomas Boyd. Yes, I think that's to sort of help them get their line, Kev. That's just cool, but everyone has a different one. I think David Monk.
Yes,
has
remember
his-
David Monk,
yeah,
yes.
won a world championship for the visually impaired. But his wife, Kathy, used to play at Gate Par Outdoor Bowling Club when I was there. And his wife was his director at that time, and she used to stand behind him, and he'd hold his arm up in the air as like a pointer. And
All
she'd
right.
to move it left or right, and then go.
Have a look at this for a saviour shot. Literally drew it
Yeah.
right to the ditch board, did Dean Robertson. And there you can see great camera shot there. You can see the shot bowl sitting. Now that's as good as you're going to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great shot there from Thomas. 2 touches. He won't get a 3rd toucher.
No. And I notice as well, each time that Tom gets on the mat, he touches his foot to obviously make sure that he's happy where his foot is actually located
Yes.
on the mat. So he's obviously got the old brain century working that I know now have got to be literally on a line,
Place,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think some of our other players, they may struggle working all that out.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's incredible to watch. Same with the para bowls; they're incredible to watch, and it's just great to have them here so that we can get some people to watch it. It's great to be able to live stream the finals as well, Kev, so that we can get this to a bigger audience.
Oh, it's great, it's and deserving, because they are supporters of, these Bowls New Zealand events, and they're to be applauded, and it's great to have them all integrated, and as you say, to live stream them into, people's devices, home, wherever. It's just great to see. And I see now that Bowls Australia they're embarking upon quite a similar coverage as well. They're doing a similar coverage. So, it's fantastic to see.
It just makes sense, really, doesn't it? And at the end of the day, we want more people playing bowls, lawn bowls.
Absolutely.
And it's a game that literally anyone can play. So if we can get some coverage out there and some people know people or find themselves, so that it might be something they're interested in doing, it's great. And Kevin Smith is a good one to talk to.
Oh, he's a fantastic advocate, isn't he? Has been for many, many years. Been a great advocate for the blind, the para bowlers, done an outstanding job, and gone away with New Zealand sides, all around the place. So he puts in countless hours and has done over many, many years in his pursuit or passion for this. And it's also, in talking to Brett O'Reilly the other day in here, with the submission for bowls to be part of the Olympics in 2032, the paras and blind bowlers will play a significant role, sort of reading between the lines.
Yes.
That they will play a significant role of whether bowls becomes part of the Olympic program or not in the in the mission, so to speak, of the Olympic mission to endeavour to cover all.
Yeah.
And bowls is.
Well, that's one of the great things about our sport, isn't it, Kev? Is that anyone can play it and anyone can play it well.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll have at the Commonwealth Games, we'll have the visually impaired and the paras as well, where they've performed well. Just going to be on weight here. Is it going to hold up long enough? But what a great effort from Dean Robinson to try to draw right down to the ditch board.
I'm not quite managing that. So it looks like Thomas, he's probably sitting with two there, I think.
I would think so. That I remarked the other day, Alex, and it's not to do with this particular coverage, but just general, the greens in Christchurch, the Manutato Cotswold Greens, to applaud the greenkeepers, how you see the consistent coverage of the surface right to the ditch board.
Absolutely.
Right around the whole green. Doesn't matter which way you're playing. And I've been to 3 greens that I've been to now, and the coverage is right to the ditch board. So it does certainly give you, it gives a it looks good to start with.
It does.
But it also gives confidence to the players that, we know in certain conditions, certain areas whereby we see the last metre or metre and a half towards the ditch is a bit of a lottery.
Yeah, it can be. It either slows up or it doesn't. Hey, so it's good to see. But beautiful, beautiful greens all around Christchurch.
Yeah, it certainly have been. I also remarked the other day. We went out to. I had the pleasure of going out to Sumner, and watching play out there the other day. And of course they rebuilt their club rooms there post earthquake.
Yeah.
And it's a 1 green club, and the clubhouse that they've got out there is just absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, we went there yesterday as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful setting as too for a clubhouse. But a lot of thought's gone into that clubhouse. You can see they have done their homework with whoever put it together. There's a coffee and tea station at the bottom, which I thought was pretty good, and good viewing platform as well.
I think, Alex, what they've actually done, and I think there's a message out there, I think, to clubs around the country, is they have built a clubhouse to accommodate community activity and enjoyment. And I believe they have a very big business house localised, and it's not going to say it's a local, but it's certainly a community point now
Yeah.
where people of that area have something to pop in there, because it certainly is. It's a first class. Yeah, it's a first class.
Yeah, it was lovely. I was very impressed. Just see, that's Wendy Sutty, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, she's been coordinating the umpires for this national event. And
So
flipped
we've
across.
swung around. Here we go. So as we leave the game between Tom Boyd and Dean Robinson, the B1, B2 visually impaired, it is Thomas Boyd of Burnside leading 9 shots to 2 over Dean Robinson of Burnside in that final. We're now going to the match between Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse here in Christchurch, who is self-directs, and this is the partially sighted, up against Kieran Wheeler of North East Valley with his father Colin as his director. His father, and of course last year we saw Kieran get defeated in the final at Sunnybray on the North Shore of Auckland. And as we come to you now in this race to 21, it is the North East Valley player Kieran Wheeler who is leading by 8 shots to 6 in this race to 21, and 2 very, very good bowls there from Donald Stevens.
Yeah, I think Donald defeated last year's champion Steve Delaney in the semi-final.
Yes, he did. I saw a note earlier on from Steve Delaney, posted a note on Facebook, in fact, wishing Donald Stevens all the best in this final.
Yeah, he played very well. I watched a bit of that game from the upper rooms at Burnside, and the heads were super tight.
So as the end comes to the end, I think we'll see Donald Stevens with a couple of shots.
Pick up 2, and whoever was on our scoreboard was very quick then, because they updated it before before the bowl came to finish. So 11-8, I think it will be to Donald Stevens. He's saying this race to 21 points.
And yesterday, really, Alex, the men's pairs, women's singles, things are going. Most of the leading players had fairly good days on the greens around Christchurch. There's a couple of the women's players who are in the national squad at present who got a bit of work to do today. But, look, we've seen those things happen before. And players,
you can afford to lose 2 games
Yeah.
in your section play.
And players still come through. And I think I applaud Bowls New Zealand again from moving to the 2 days, the 6 games, 4 out of 6 to qualify. And now we've got consistency of that right throughout singles, pairs and fours and mixed pairs, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So it does give consistency on all of the events. Of course, what that means is if you're coming from out of town, that you certainly...
Guarantees you a bit of bowls.
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. So here we have Donald Stevens from Riccarton Racecourse.
On his backhand, looks like a nice enough line. It's a little bit further out. We watched that women's pair semi-final. I think the rink was a bit closer to the club room, but it was a lazy hand, wasn't it?
Certainly was. And even when we moved the next game, in fact, it was still hanging. It's still, I'm not saying it was hanging, but just was a lazier draw.
Yeah.
And the forehand from there was certainly a kinder draw.
As we see Kieran trying to follow that line down on the backhand as well. Looks half a chance if he's got the right weight.
Well, is that weight going to get that last metre to the jack?
Good shot. Yeah.
Good shot it does. That's the shot itself. And you'd have to be impressed, no doubt, Alex, just going back to the other day, the final, of what we saw with Kelvin Scott. And I was talking to Peter Ballas before, and he was just saying, that some people never lose it. And Kelvin Scott, the 59-year-old plasterer from Elmwood Park, was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, he looked like he was never going to miss, Kev. Every bowl he played was essentially there or thereabouts, so a deserved champion. And I think a good effort, too, from Mike Galloway under the defence of his title.
Oh, certainly was. He's one shot away from a final. Great response here from Don Stevens. Just got a touch on the bowl. Yeah, from Mike Galloway's point of view, if you look at him now, he won last year the Summerset National Singles. He won the champion triples in Hastings, and now beaten semi-finalists by 1 shot.
Yeah.
Here in Christchurch, he's had a good good 12 months,
He has,
hasn't he?
yeah, and he's playing with Marty Dixon in the pairs. They had 3 good wins yesterday. I would be not surprised at all to see them right at the pointy end of the pairs post-section competition as well.
Well, they've certainly played a lot of bowls together, haven't they?
Yeah, they know
Both
each other
Galloway
really well.
and Marty Dixon. They have played a lot, and the thing that I like about Mike Galloway's game, and I have said this in the coverage, that if we're talking further afield of other opportunities that might come, e.g. possibly the Commonwealth Games, he's got a delivery for all surfaces, for all paces. It's and of course he learnt that of Peter Bellis.
Yes,
that was
you can see it when you watch them play. It's very similar. And what a person to base your delivery off.
Well, he came through as well, the great stable of northern bowlers in the Manawatu. The late Phil Scoglin, and of course his son now Philip, who's a New Zealand selector. Wayne Sellers. There was a host of great players, the Myers, Russell Meyer and his father Dan. There was a really, really good stable of players at the Northern Club. And Mike came through that. Here's another good bowl here. Going to get all the way down, gets past his own, would be close to counting.
Yeah, he's got 1.5, so he's trailing 8-13 in the race to 21. So it's not, you're not even close to panic stations yet, but they'd like to score a couple of ends in a row.
And of course, I suppose at the women's pairs, the feature has to be the display of Bev Morrell in that final. It was certainly highlights. Age is no barrier.
Absolutely, and we've spoken about that before. And if you look at the visually impaired and the para bowlers, the bowls that's going down the green are all very good. So it's a sport. If you want to be good at it, you can be good at it. You just need to put in a bit of practice, and it's
absolutely
it's good to see. Donald just taking his time here.
I think it may be still checking on that shot.
Oh, yes.
Asking the marker, Wendy, of who's got, whether it's 1, whether it's 2, whether it's none. And there was a bowl, of course, coming up from the other green, other rink as well, of which he was just waiting upon.
It was a toucher too, that bowl, the one and the...
the one.
Yeah, so it was worth waiting for on the other side.
So he's running for the jack here.
Is he going to get down?
No, just goes by, but by goodness, that's...
Good on him. That's a brave call. Would have been a good shot to play. He almost, if there'd been a bowl narrower, Kieran's got a bowl sitting at 11 o'clock on our screen. He could have hit that and coming off, and anything could have happened.
So here we've got Kieran Wheeler on his backhand, doing to add to the count, obviously holding the shots. We can see the weight that was just played, and again this bowl's on a good arc as well. It's going to come all the way back to the inside of this bowl of, no, it's not. Stephen's just going to go by, but there's 3 bowls there, 3 of the Kieran Wheeler bowls there, Alex, which are literally right on that centre line, which is the key to this whole to getting good results on the head, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think we'll see a 2 there to Kieran, so he's sort of narrowing that gap again. It'll trail 10-13, but good bowls from both, and it's going to stay.
One of the things that I have noticed here as well, Alex, and I think the Maniatoto type green highlights it, of that if I look at how people play the game, let's say on Starweed in Auckland, yes, as an example I use, where they traditionally endeavour to play down underlines, to play under the head shots. On here's a different game, isn't it?
It is a different game. You're right. And I suppose it's becoming more. See the North Island sort of pick up the Maniatoto greens, or the Auckland area pick up Maniatoto greens. We're adjusting our game up there as well.
Because it certainly is a different, it's a different mindset of shot play, isn't it? I watched Kelvin Scott the other day in that final where, you see that, which we didn't. Great to see, where you see a bowl drawing round a bowl literally at the jack level position, and still coming in behind the head, and that highlights a good green and also a very good bowl as well. But it's a compliment to the greenkeeping people that to produce these greens. And there's nothing. I remarked to Brett O'Reilly during the final. There's nothing better from a bowls purist to see them playing in front of a good crowd, which we were in the finals day, on a really good running surface, and the drawing ability of players on these, it's, to me,
Yeah, the greens allow them to play those nice shots.
They do.
You can trust yourself to stack 3 or 4 up with nice line, a good line.
Well, I could say the aging purist like myself, it's still the thing that I really like to see in our sport, because it to me, it then endorses the ability, one of the players, and also complements the greens people on the greens that they present.
A lovely shot to watch, isn't it, that dead draw? And Kieran's starting there on his backhand, so he's drawn one a metre past and a good line. And
that's what I've been impressed right throughout, is the consistency of players getting back to that centre line. And of course, these guys both coming from Manutato home, so to speak, being North East Valley and here in Christchurch. It's just the way how the game sort of, the greens, that's how you play.
It's made that, yeah, absolutely. And Donald Stevens just drawing just inside Kieran's bowl, so holding one. Let's see if he can get it back on his backhand.
13-9 in the race, 2:21. And depend on that weight, certainly the line is good and the weight is good, and it all but touches the jack.
Yeah, good shot there from Kieran Wheeler.
Wendy Suter at the market was sort of tiptoeing ballerina style towards the jack to see whether it was going to just sort of brush the jack on the way through. We bit of a breeze there. You'll see the cloth of Donald Stevens just fluttering a wee bit, but nothing too major.
He's got good weight there, Donald Stevens. He switched his forehand though, and he's come across the head. His weight wasn't too bad, but just a bit narrow. Probably the line of the out-of-bounds rink, I think.
It's the old story as well, that Alex, that once you get that shorter length head, the danger, of course, and you see it happen, you think, well, I'd change my line inwards.
Yeah.
Because it's a far shorter head than what you may have been playing. And here's Wheeler again. He's going to may well finish lower the jack, but it's still going to be, it's going to be jack level.
Yeah, surely.
Counting, I would say.
In for 2, so Donald Stevens staying on his forehand. He just needs to take a bit more green this time. We'll see how it goes. He's let it go. Yeah, he's taking a wider line with this shot.
We'll see how much it comes back on that centre line. It's moving towards the centre line now.
Down to his weight.
Has it got the weight to get all the way inside this bowl? It has. Have a look at this.
Beautiful bowl there from Donald Stevens. That's magnificent. What a correction as well. His first bowl missed by a good 2 metres, 2.5 metres.
Certainly did. And certainly got a big draw on the in the latter stages of that bowl to draw, all the way back inside the Wheeler bowl. So here now is
Kieran on his backhand. Let it go with a little bit of a bounce. He doesn't like that one. I don't think he liked it when he let it go, that one, Kev. I think it came out not as nice as he would have liked.
No, it didn't.
Donald so holding one now with an opportunity to put a bonus bowl in with his last shot. Staying on his forehand, he'll try to do a similar thing again.
Father Colin. Just
tight, I reckon.
Well, we follow that last bowl, the third bowl, yes, it will be. Another one, though, to Donald Stevens.
Yeah, so Donald able to get one in there. That'll be a bit frustrating for the Wheeler combination, because they played sort of 2.5, 3 good bowls, and Donald played 1 good bowl and scored a point. When you're trying to make a bit of a comeback or sort of catch up to someone in a game of singles, those are the ends that can hurt a little bit, isn't it?
Well, it's sometimes the frustration that this sport can bring you, but you just put it behind you, don't you? And as I said to someone the other day with playing first to 21. You never run out of ends, just run out of numbers, don't you? That's so you just got to hang in there.
A good little crowd there gathering to watch these finals. It's not as warm as it could be outside, is it, Kev?
That's a fair statement, Alex.
Not as warm as it could be. So we've got a bit of a crowd upstairs at Burnside watching from the comfort of that room as well.
Well, I did look at the weather forecast last night, and I think we're tipped to be at 26 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be warm again tomorrow. I've bought a watermelon for tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes, because we got a bit warm in the chat room and in the live streaming room during the singles.
Yeah, it was
and
pretty
pairs
warm.
final.
It was fairly warm.
The watermelon's been hiffed into the fridge where it can cool down, and we'll cut it up into pieces tomorrow and see how that goes down.
Preparing culinary delights is.
Yeah, to be fair, it was more expensive than I was expecting the watermelon.
Yeah, it was pretty warm here though. Those last couple of days, wasn't it? In the latter stages of the men's singles and women's pairs, it was pretty warm, all right.
Yeah.
So here's really now. It's interesting that he's obviously got that little sort of, I'd call it, dump. It used to be a famous Linwood bowler down here in Christchurch. A pretty good bowl here.
Good shot from Kieran. Great bowl from Kieran.
Sonny Calder, who won a national fours with Morgan Moffat.
Yes.
And Ken Watson. And look, I can't remember the other player, except they beat us in the semi-final. But anyway, Sonny Calder was well known for his little sort of, he had a little dump on his bowls. And was also a very prominent coach down here in Cranberry. And I remember someone talking to Sonny about you dump your bowl. And he said, look, if you dump it the same every bowl,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
He's not wrong. That's what we see with
Cheese rolls.
Yes, I do. Yep, cheese rolls. Exciting times at Burnside Bowling Club.
Does that mean that Gay Bunting must be in the kitchen? Because I know Gay has always been in that.
Good thing about the South Island.
Well, they look after us.
Yep, it's good. How good's this bowl here? From
Great
Kieran?
response here from Wheeler Gitsons. Oh,
just picked a gap there. So Donald Stevens still holding one, and Kieran's played the same bowl twice. They sit at sort of 7 o'clock on our screen, a metre past, and the shot bowl sits at 3 o'clock, 3 feet.
And see,
away from the jack.
You get that fragrance just then.
Yes. Yeah.
that was the cheese rolls fragrance.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's good. Good news.
So under the line here is Donald Stevens, but definitely holding. And I see Colin Wheeler and Son.
Yeah, Colin will be saying to Kieran, don't make much of a correction, Kev?
Well, it's only centimetres, isn't it, really? It's, and of course the danger is that you try and overcorrect it and lose that good line that you had. So just checking the ball where he needs it on that backhand. Got a good stance on the mat. See the feet in a good position.
Just that little dump, but it is the same every time, as you said. You just need to go with that little bit of a push.
Well, it may well only be the weight that kills it here.
Yeah, beautiful green. Just the oomph.
Now may make it just may make that shot now on that draw there just a wee bit harder, because one has to just get past that very shortish bowl. And remember the course going on throughout the day as well. We have got the women's singles last there 3 rounds today, played 3 rounds yesterday, further 3 today, and they require, of course, 4 out of 6 to qualify. And also the men's pairs, day 2 of section play are the men's pairs of the Summerset Nationals here in Christchurch, who also played 3 rounds yesterday, and they'll play a further 3 today with 4 out of 6 to qualify. And at the close of play, really, it's fair to say that literally all the leading players were either close to qualifying or still with a chance to qualify. So I think it's fair to say, Alex, none of what you would say the leading players were totally out of qualifying contention last evening, were they?
We sort of found that this national championships, for whatever reason, that there doesn't seem to be that many upsets happening in section play.
Well, I think the 4 out of 6 does make it does make a difference, Alex, because let's say in the previous in singles 3 out of 4. You really had one chance, didn't you? To sort of
have a good day.
One, you get beaten by a better player, that happens. But 2, you could have a slip up that happens, which does happen, as we know, in this sport, and it's all over. So, with playing the 4 out of 6 over 2 days, it only adds one more day to the overall event, doesn't it? It just gives everybody who travels to these Summerset Nationals, everyone's got a good chance of qualifying for post-section play.
Absolutely. And Kieran here, his last bowl on the backhand. It's a chance here. If he can just navigate that gap, he's half a chance.
He is a chance here. He came down, he had a look.
Close here.
He's close again. Just needs to get under this bowl, and he's close to
here.
it. Needs to get under it cleanly.
Did he do it?
He turned the bowl over, but did it roll one bowl in towards the jack? That was an outstanding response.
Great shot, just resting on the shot bowl of Donald Stevens. On his backhand, 3 rolls of weight. I'm not sure if he's moved the shot bowl enough.
No.
That's the indication. So Donald scores another point, goes to 15 points to 9 lead in this race to 21.
Of course, any touch on the jack then would have been exceptionally beneficial to the North East Valley player, wouldn't it? Would have. I don't need a slight touch. New Zealand president, I see, sitting there, wrapped up.
Looking warm.
Yeah.
Ish. And we see, so 15-9 lead now to Donald Stevens.
Well, it is warming up, but now the sun's out, and I've seen Tamara's been outside walking around, so it must have warmed up. So for
to venture, we see the jack staying within the bounds of the rink by the looks. Oh no, it's been indicated that it might be out. Out, so being chucked back and will be redelivered by.
It's interesting, we're staying right in literally in the inner city of Christchurch, and we came out this morning and the footpaths were very, it'd been a lot of rain.
Yes, there was a lot of rain overnight.
And then we get down here, down Memorial Ave, down towards Burnside, and the roads were as dry as a bone.
Yep.
Didn't look as there'd been any rain.
Yeah, Boss New Zealand has an agreement with the weather.
Oh, is that a contract?
Yeah, agreement with the weather after the issues we had last year in Auckland, where it was biblical rain almost the entire week on and off.
Yeah, it wasn't the city of sails, it was the city of rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't that chuffed, Kev. I've been in better moods, but this year it's been beautiful weather in Christchurch, so there was an agreement made, I reckon.
Well, let's hope we get to Taranaki for the Summerset National Fours and Mixed Pairs, that we treated the same with
Similar,
those.
yeah, for sure.
Well, when Tamara and I go down for the Taranaki Open Fours, we'll order it.
Yes, yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me, Kev. And a good shot there, leading off from Donald Stevens, playing very well.
Well, right back to the centre line, just that, half a metre in behind. And a look across at the board now in the other final. It is 10-4 to Tom Boyd over Dean Robertson, the 2 Burnside players. And here's another good response from
great shot here.
Kieran Wheeler.
Kieran Wheeler
this time, is he?
He's not going anywhere, is he, Kev?
Well, he's played 3 bowls over the last 2 ends, whereby he'd done everything to sit on the shot bowl and just a feather from.
Yeah. And Kieran and Colin will know that Kieran is playing well, so you just got to hang in there, just keep playing your bowls with confidence, not with desperation.
Another good bowl here from Donald Stevens, finishing jack level. Just going by about a metre, but certainly had a good line coming in towards the jack, and just, of course, Donald Stevens directs himself. He's, as you say, these gentlemen are partially sighted.
Yep, so Kieran can see a few metres in front of him. Colin was telling me, Colin Wheeler, his father, said he can see a few metres in front of where he's looking, but not the long distance, so he needs Colin just to help him, to let him know where his bowl's finished.
Oh, it's great to see father and son, they're both involved in the sport.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's another one, another one of the long list of things that's great about our sport, I think, Kev, is that you can see families participate. As Donald Stevens runs after his bowl there on his four, and you see families participate in the sport together. Sometimes it doesn't end that well when families play the sport together.
No, it doesn't. Look at this though. Here's a just goes by the jack again. Wasn't like he's not asking. I thought he may have asked what the shot situation is, whether that last one counted or not. And the other good thing about the sport in this particular event, Alex, I was talking the other day, Andy Curtin and I, in fact, were talking about it. For, let's say, us mature age people who have been around the Nationals. My first National was in 1976. Here's it. Look this time.
Yes, good bowl from Kieran. Drawn a toucher, but he's run away from the bowl a bit there, so
might be 2 down.
One down, yeah.
Having a look is Donald Stevens. So what Andy Curtin and I were talking about, though, Alex, is you catch up with guys, ladies that you haven't seen for quite some time,
Yes.
or you played against, or you had a memorable game against, or you went away to a tournament together, and to sit down, have a beer and chat. It's a great thing about this sport, the camaraderie that exists, and this event is something that promotes that because of course from North Cape to the Bluff. 15-9 in this race to 21.
Oh, his forehand again as Donald looking to get underneath that second shot of Kieran Wheeler's. We'll see it come back into shot shortly.
Oh, he sits it. Wow.
So he's gone square onto that second shot. He might have rolled it up for one. I'd be surprised.
Looking at the angle from where we're looking at here now, Alex,
Yes.
it does look that way.
It does. We see Kieran on his backhand. He'd just be trying to, play some of the bowl again, really. He's played 3 good ones. Let that go with a bit of a...
He did. I know he liked, but looked to be on a pretty good line.
Got to be careful.
Out of the hand.
Got to be careful here.
Doesn't want the back of the jack. Oh. Ooh, the back of the jack could have been...
That was panic stations.
Yeah, it could have been pretty fatal. Moved across the other side of the ring. Would have made 3 of it for the Riccarton Racecourse player.
I think we will see one. Yes,
it was
one
the
to
one.
Kieran Wheeler. That might be the shot that makes the difference. A slight change in momentum. Kieran was unlucky last end not to score, really, and he's got away with this one. Donald was a bit stiff himself to push him up for one, and we see Kieran get into double figures. It might make a difference, I think.
Well, to be fair to Donald Stevens, he was only really a touch away from getting to the jack.
It was a good shot. It was a good shot.
And it was all in his favour.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Kieran Wheeler, he slipped by the jack just on the dead draw on a number of bowls over the last few ends. And I just wonder now, though, whether we're going to see that change of length, which it might be to change. No, we're still...
He might have tried to push it. He might have just fallen a bit short there. I think I agree with you. They would have been looking for a longer end there.
One would think that it was interesting watching the men's singles the other day. Alex, how both players in that final were pretty much endeavouring to get to that 2 metre mark consistently with the jack. They may have had the mat in different positions.
Yes,
but
the jack was thrown to the 2 metre. Yeah.
And Tony Grantham, here's a good opening bowl here from Kieran Wheeler, and a front toucher right on the jack.
That must have been where they wanted to put the jack, Kev.
Must have been pretty good. But it was interesting talking to Tony Grantham about it. I said, some of those lengths were what I would term as a suicide length because they were neither short or they were neither long. And he said, well, yeah. And he said it was a gamble he had to take to try and get back into the game, to put to put Kelvin Scott off his draw. And for a couple of ends it did, actually.
Tony showed a lot of fight in that final.
Well, 15-3 to 15. He was 15-3 down, got to 15-9. So now can Kieran Wheeler capitalise on that very, very good bowl that he played with his first and sits right alongside the jack on the backhand again.
He's given it the foot tap. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
looks narrow.
Yeah, just a bit, just missing a bit of both there, Kieran.
Oh, he sits over the top of it on the... He's got a wee bit of an inside slide, whether it helped him or not.
So we see Donald Stevens on his backhand. 15-10 he leads. He's a bit wide this time.
Certainly wider, and you and I, Alex, know.
Yeah, once you go out on that hand, you'll wait a long time for it to come back.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sure Grant Hassel is watching this because I saw his when it was Grant's write-ups the other day, and he happened to, and it was the Pearce game that we did, and he happened to note that it was around about a certain number of ends before the change of hand.
Yes, yeah. It took a while in that semi-final for the players to make that decision.
And you can see here, although the weight may not be all the way, but that line is certainly different, isn't it? And look, but that'll count for sure.
This is a massive end here.
So this is a big end so far, and a bit of pressure on here.
Building up. He's put 3 bowls close. Donald Stevens hasn't yet. You know, this is his third bowl now, and he'll want this one to be second shot. All the pressure's on him for the last one.
Well, we know, we can see where that bowl is, and we know where that is, Alex. Just on that.
Here we go. It's a big chance here. Sort of two and a. I still think it's a reasonable shot there from Donald, but I still think Kieran's holding 2. They'll be looking to put 3 on, put all the pressure. You just want to be sitting with those 3 shots.
Well, he can play safely on that backhand.
Yeah.
That's literally jack level.
Absolutely.
That bowl, which I'm picking, be third shot. So we can get a turn inside that. It comes inside that, or even gets a turn on the bowl. Has a look to make sure. Little rings on the inside. And it's on the.
Let it go.
And it's certainly out on that wider.
Oh, he's not narrow.
No.
If he has perfect weight, he might sort of swing in for third
Coming
shot
through.
underneath it.
It's coming back. He's
Here
going to
we
get
go.
inside it.
Yeah, perfect
That's
weight.
exactly what we were talking about, really, Alex, wasn't it? That was the spot. So now.
Beautiful shot there, sitting 3.5. All the pressure on Donald Stevens' shoulders. On his backhand. He's let it go reasonable. We'll see how it finishes.
Well, it's a different line to the 2 previous bowls, Alex.
So follow it down. It's coming back in.
This is close.
This is close under pressure.
This is close.
Huge pressure.
This is very close. In
What a
fact,
bomb.
it's a back toucher.
What a bomb. What a shot there from Donald Stevens. Steering down the barrel of 3 down. He's played 3 average bowls. Makes that correction with his last one. Got that one in there again, Kev.
What's 2 ends in a row now, isn't it?
Creeped ahead now. 16-10. Good shot there. Good shot there from Donald Stevens under pressure, and a heartbreaker for the Wheeler combination.
Well, it was a great recovery, wasn't it? Because those 3 bowls, especially 2 of them, were very, very close to the jack.
I would have been feeling quietly confident that I was going to score at least a couple of points if I was Kieran and Colin. Not to be on that occasion.
Well, the big thing here, though, they're having a bit of a laugh at 2 players amongst themselves, but, you know, the big thing here for Kieran Wheeler, sure that we're running out of numbers, but if you keep that consistency up, it only takes, you know, 1 end, possibly, you get a 3. You're quickly back into the game.
We've seen a lot. Here comes the long end.
Here it comes. Now, whether that was deliberate, we don't know, but it's certainly
different
to what we.
So we'll see. The marker might have moved it. There's going to be some. What's happened?
Was it out?
God, I'd love a replay. I don't think we have that. I don't think we have that capability this morning. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
go back on the YouTube maybe when this is finished.
Yeah, because I thought it was.
Have a look. I think it was potentially not out, but that's okay. So we see the jack redelivered by Kieran. A little light rain outside by the looks, Kev.
Yes, there is a little bit of
a smattering.
But look at the skyline behind, out in front of us here. Sure, it's darkened up a fraction, but still.
And they're just deciding if the jack is up, we might see the umpire called to do a measure here.
We might see 2 metres in it. 2 minutes. Anyway, no, they've agreed I've agreed 16-10 to Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse.
Happy enough, yeah. And the marker will have called out the length of the jack as well on that. You hear them if you're out there. You can see to the left of the screen they've got those little numbers, those little things. That's the meterage of the jack. So the marker looks to that, lines it up, and then calls out how many metres up it is for the benefit of the players and their directors.
Good bowl, opening bowl there from Donald Stevens, and 10-5 to Tom Boyd over Dean Robertson in the B1, B2 final. There's a good reply here from Wheeler. He's going to get all the way to the jack or just slip under it. He's going to get the back of the jack. Is he? No, he's not. Well, he's certainly gone through.
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing well. You know, if you were Kieran and Colin Wheeler, you're not going to change your game plan because you're actually playing some pretty good bowls.
Certainly, I can see that rain now.
Yeah, it's coming down. All the Wheelers can do is keep doing what they're doing, Kevin. If it's meant to be, they'll
it'll come.
It'll come, and if it's not meant to be, it won't.
Another good bowl here from Donald Stevens.
Just playing good bowls.
Just off the centre line, but some very brave people there, as you can see that rain falling here at the Burnside Greens in Christchurch
Yep.
at this final.
Our President Anne Wright, totally unfazed by the weather.
No, it hasn't
Sitting
moved.
there,
So
statuesque.
another trying desperately here is Wheeler, and he's
Good shot.
drawn the shot jack level.
He's played that very well, has Kieran. Drawn one on his backhand, so he's sitting sort of level with the jack. And Donald will play on his forehand side.
Oh, we saw him on that last end. We saw Stevens. He's undeterred where the bowl sits. He's quite capable, but this one's going to be under the line.
Yeah. It's interesting if you listen to them talk, Kev, it depends on which combinations you're talking to, but they talk about the head on a clock face for the blind and visually
right.
impaired. So it
Yeah.
goes from 12 o'clock all the way round. So
Yeah.
12 o'clock is where the marker would be standing, and 6 o'clock is where the player is. So that's the head on a clock face. That's where how they talk
Well,
about the position of a bowl.
That's interesting because in the old days of the radio commentary,
Yes?
Stu Scott was always the clock
Yeah.
of the bowl. You know, we'd be doing the radio commentary, and it was always taking 12 o'clock and where the bowl was sitting. And Scotty was always, he was a clock man
Clock.
on the radio commentary. Yeah. See Stevens, if we can get a touch on the jack, it'll all be to his advantage. Just see how wide it is to that it hasn't got the weight.
Going to pull up a bit short there. It'll be interesting to see if the rain's heavy enough to change the green. Not yet, I don't think, but if it keeps going like it is, maybe we might see the speed of the green change a little bit. We could see a change there. Our cameras are so good, it's making the rain look a lot more dramatic than it actually is.
It looks like rain and snow in London.
Yeah, I just had a look outside the window, and it's just a light drizzle.
Well, that confirms the high quality of the
Yes,
the
yes,
camera
it does.
equipment, doesn't it?
Guts
Wheeler
into that one.
just trying to get inside it, all but he'd be happy, no doubt, to score again.
Yeah, that's all they'll be thinking about, just if we can score consistently. Even if it's in ones, it's fine.
And now the importance now, the jack and the comfort line of knows where Wheeler can, it's so important now that once you get hold of that mat, that you dictate and then endeavour to play accordingly.
Yes, absolutely. It's a big point there. As we see Kieran go to an 11-16 training position, and he's thrown the jack up, and we'll see where it ends. The players taking, are they taking cover? No. just
Well, I
standing.
think Kieran may have just gone to get a no, not a jacket. Is it gripper on the hands?
Might
there?
be gripper on the hands, yeah.
Could
And
be
we've
the-
lost. I
yeah.
think we've lost the umbrella off one of our cameras. It's all happening at Burnside this morning, folks. A 16-12 lead, though, for Donald Stevens over Kieran and Colin Wheeler.
But to be fair, Alex, a couple of drops of rain compared to some of the weather conditions that we've had to deal with over the years.
Yes, this is, it's fine. The players won't mind it either. It can actually be quite refreshing. I'd rather be in a light drizzle than in a 30-degree heat, to be fair.
Well, we've had a couple of days where it's certainly been, the temperature's been right up there, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been difficult. And we see an umbrella. We've lost an umbrella to the right of the screen, blowing inside out.
Yeah. So here's the first bowl of Kieran Wheeler's, and that's a good opening
Shut
bowl, just sitting low of the jack on that backhand side. Trailing 16-11 is Kieran Wheeler of North East Valley in Dunedin over Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse.
Don't look to follow him down. He's
Looks to
taken
be
it
under the
tight
line.
He needs it to hold up. He hasn't quite made it. Yes, no, it's interesting. So we were talking earlier about Kevin Smith and his advocacy for the NZBLBA and whatnot. If anyone is interested to learn more, he's really approachable and easy to talk to. You could literally just Google Blind Bowls New Zealand and it'll
Yes.
pop up with all the contact details that you need to know if you've got a family member or a friend who has a visual impairment or has just been diagnosed with one of those progressive things. It's a great community to be a part of, and I'm sure Kevin will be more than happy to help you out with that, and we might see you at one of our nationals in the future.
Well, he's certainly been, as you say, that great advocate and very helpful in giving, sort of opening the door for people to look. You're welcome, and we're here to help. And
yeah, well, like you said before, Kev, the brilliant thing about bowls, or most sports, I suppose, but bowls in particular, is it's
dear.
Yeah, it was a good result there for Donald Stevens.
Ran into that first bowl.
Shunting his own bowl up.
Now asking who's got the shot is Kieran Wheeler. Asking whether he's still holding the shot or not.
Yes, bowls is a good community sport, isn't it, Kev? And we have many communities sort of contained within, and the New Zealand Blind Lawn Bowlers Association is one of those, and a vibrant community they are too, and they all look after each other. So I think the more people that can sort of get involved in that, the better. As far as
they're very active, aren't they? And and the other, the great thing about our sport is, as well, Alex, is it doesn't matter if we live in a town where there's a population of 2,000, or you live in Wellington, or there's, as we found last year as an example, when we went down to Central Otago.
Yeah, we got a bowls club.
Yeah, there was a bowls club, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And they were all so welcoming, and had great. They presented fantastic greens, etc. Very welcoming, great catering.
Yes, for sure.
So it is a sport whereby it doesn't matter where you are in the country, or it doesn't matter what your status is, you can go and have a game of bowls, can't you?
Absolutely. No, very good. So we see Kieran's got the shot here. Donald's played 3 sort of okay bowls, but Kieran will be looking just to stick another one on the head, see if he can close that gap. He is only 12-16 behind. It's doable.
Well, we saw on the last end going that way, whereby he was Kieran Wheeler had a very healthy position on the head. Needs to be just inside the bowl.
Close here from Kieran Wheeler.
Turns it over. He's made it. Great shot. It's 2.
Resting through the bowl there of Donald Stevens.
Of course, coming this way last time he was holding 3.
Yes.
With the last bowl to come.
Yeah, and Donald drew one.
And drew the shot. He's watching this one closely. We'll see in but a moment.
Walking with intent there as we see the bowl just across the head. So maybe that's another point there. Kieran Wheeler scoring 2, trailing 14-16 now.
Anybody's game.
Yeah, it is anybody's game, and I think Kieran's probably got Kieran and Colin probably have the momentum at this stage.
Well, if you take about the consistency of your 4 bowls over the last 4 or 5 ends, no disrespect to Donald Stevenson at all, but Kieran has more than likely had the more consistency around towards the centre line and scoring areas with multiple bowls than perhaps that Donald's had. So, he's just got to keep that mindset. Tamara, you'll see there doing the
just helping out our
umbrella and
so we can get a clearer picture.
Thank you, Tamara. As in Colin's wise, he doesn't go out in the rain.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Make sure we are looking at all the right camera angles as Colin.
Does a great job.
And Kieran down here. Yeah, so I spoke about the system that they use in the outdoor bowls for some of the outdoor things, but I was lucky enough to participate in an indoor bowls blind nationals. They have their own association.
All right.
It was hosted at Roscommon District's indoor bowling hall 2 or 3 years ago. I turned up to watch, and I was asked to be a director because a lady called Susan didn't have a director, so they gave me a crash course. Depending on if you're in the North or the South Island, for the weight they either say between 1 and 5 or 15 and 20. And the 15 is where the tee is on the mat, and the 20 is where the spot is on the mat. So that's how many feet up it is. That's the weight, and they taught me about the clock face, and you just tell these bowlers where the bowls land. And Susie and I played, and we kept going and won the women's singles at that national. So it's a vibrant community in the indoor bowling scene as well, and quite interesting to watch.
So 1 down on the head. 16-14, Donald Stevens leading. Kieran Wheeler 1 down, his first bowl sliding under the centre line. And here is again on the backhand. Seems to have had that bowl out on him.
Yeah, looks like it's a reasonable chance if he's got the weight right.
Just needs to get past this front bowl of Donald Stevens. Not going to quite run.
Yeah, same weight as his first bowl, so he corrected his line, but not his oomph.
Of course, the correction on these shorter ends, it's pretty finite, isn't it? Here
Donald
he is.
Stevens on the back end, looking to get back into a rhythm. Will Donald be? He hasn't looked that steady the last 3 or 4 ends. He's been having to play saving bowls with his 3rd and 4th shot, but this is a much better start here for Donald Stevens.
Be happy where this sits now. He's got 1 jack low, which is more than he counted, and 1 jack high just off the centre line.
We're seeing a switch of hand here from the Wheelers, switching to the forehand side. They probably think they've got a bowl they can hit up or come underneath.
And certainly restricts them the possibility of getting tangled up on those ineffective bowls literally in the front of the head.
Let it go on the forehand. How's the weight?
Oh, the line was pretty good.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that shot. He had a beautiful line for it. See, it's just to come across the head a little bit, but if he had had a metre more weight, he had a bowl to rest on, or that back bowl of Donald Stevenson at, well, I'd say 6 o'clock to our screen and 12 o'clock if you're talking about the system that they use.
Correct. And look, there's father, Colin, just sort of talking to Kieran now, indicating to him, how far short, how much more do I need, getting a bit of guidance of where to play his next bowl. This bowl,
Donald Stevens on his backhand, he needs to get around or underneath that.
Well, if he gets around this front bowl and got the line, he'll have another shot, and he's going to do so here because he'll get past all the way and sits right on top of the jack. Now this becomes a big bowl now.
It's amazing
Alex.
there from Donald Stevens. I think the Wheelers just have to cut it down to 1. They've got no position at the back.
Second shot's the best shot here for sure for the Wheeler combination. It was well played from Donald Stevens, a Riccarton Racecourse player.
So on his forehand is Kieran Wheeler looking just for second shot. Just needs to add that little bit more weight than what he has had.
Was out wider.
He's taking a high line.
And we do know, Alex, if you get too wide out there, you won't come back all the way. Will it get him for second shot? Needs to sit inside that bowl and turn over.
It's a better bowl than he might think. Cut it down.
So, Donald Stevens now on his backhand. He's out on that nice...
He's got 2 there for sure, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has. But he's on that nice, wide, generous arc out there.
Yeah.
Gets past all of this, gets past his own.
Keeps going.
It'll count. He'll get a touch on his own.
Good shot there.
I would say it's definitely 2.
If it's 3, that's a brilliant end there from Donald Stevens. Just as the Colin and Kieran Wheeler combination was starting to get what felt like a bit of momentum.
The comeback was coming, wasn't it?
He's come back. Yeah, it was just feeling like the game was starting to flick back in that direction.
Yeah, we'll see that board change in a moment. The marker, Wendy Suter, just giving an indication down there to the scoreboard attendant.
I think so.
And it was a 3. It's up on the board. 19-14.
19-14.
2 from home.
He's well within check-out range now. You talk about 17 points being that check-out range in a game of singles.
Certainly do.
19's a bit closer than 17.
Well, it is.
In the check-out range, so Donald Stevens can sort of... That title is just about in his grasp, he'll be thinking. He's just 2 points away from that 21-point mark.
I must... two games recollect to me about the 21 thing, Alex. One was, in fact, down here at Woolston when John Malcolm was playing Gary Lawson's father, Stan.
Yes. In
the semi-final of the singles. And Stan was, I think it was, might have been 20-4, something like a significant number. And it finished up in a 21-20 win to the late John Malcolm from the Carlton Cornwall Club. And the other one I remember is at Pakuranga in the Trans-Tasman. And it was Marlene Castle up against Karen Murphy. And Marlene Castle was down 19-4 against Karen Murphy at Pakuranga. And Stu Scott and I were covering, in fact, that particular event.
Yes.
And Castle got up and won by 21-19.
That's pretty good. It's an unbeaten run of ends. It's pretty impressive, Kev.
Yeah.
Some good stories. That's what I like about the singles game and outdoor bowls, is it's the one we play that isn't restricted by a number of ends. You have to get to your 21 points.
Got to get that
You have
number.
to have that, the psychological ability to go, right, I'm going to get to my 21. And
Yeah.
some people really struggle to get over that little mark.
Look, there's some you can go back through the years, Alex, and there's numerous games where someone sat on 19 or 20 for
Ends
6,
and
7,
ends,
8 ends. You know, it's they're the hardest shots to get. That's that last couple, and that's the case right here now for Donald Stevens of Rigaton Racecourse, and he's in that position now.
Yeah, the title is just about within his grasp, but not if Kieran Wheeler has anything to say about it. Making a correction his first bowl. He'll be unhappy with his first bowl, but a good correction with his second, drawing second shot.
Just outside the centre line, just lower the jack by half a metre, and asking the question is, Donald Stevens, how far have I got on the backhand?
They have picked their line well, these players.
They have, certainly have. Centre line, they've owned it for so many of their bowls. And as you know, Alex, it's all about effective bowls, isn't it? Doesn't matter what discipline you're playing. Here's a good bowl here from the Rigaton Race. Here's a good bowl here coming down towards the jack.
He can feel that title, I think. He's
just touches the jack, got a brush on it. Now the pressure really on Kieran Wheeler on the backhand as the North East Valley player, definitely 2 down, trailing by 19 shots to 14. And the race to 21.
on his backhand. Did you say Kieran and Colin were in the final last year as well, Kev?
Yes, they were. We covered the match at Sunnybray.
Wants it to get down. He's game down at the moment. Still
Needs to
is.
be inside it.
So
Not-
we're in a situation where Donald Stevens holds 2 for the win. One of his bowls is sitting 9 o'clock to our screen, a couple of feet away, and the other bowl's 4 or 5 o'clock to our screen, 3 or 4 feet away. So
Certainly
he's
has.
sitting
We're on the
win.
safe side here. Has
A bowl to save the
Stevens
match.
gone outside. Yes, we did the game last year, Brendan Van Nistelrooy and myself at Sunnybray, when Kieran played Steve Delaney in the final.
Yeah, he's another final here, and he'll be looking not to repeat that loss, and this is the bowl to do it. 19-14 down, game down on the head, last bowl.
Checking the bias on the backhand. Donald Stevens
It's on its
looking
way.
closely.
On its way.
Well, the line started okay here.
Trying to save the match.
How's the
Kieran.
weight?
He's
This
not
is close. This is close.
that.
This is close. Gets the
Oh.
jack.
Got a touch of it, ran
Well-
away from it.
Only be one.
Good shot. Some good metal shown there.
Certainly
Kieran.
was.
Would have been an easy shot to miss. Not scoring a point though, but cutting it down. So we see Donald Stevens move a shot closer to within 1 of the title. That's 1.
It's one.
Sometimes you
Oh.
really, really want it to be 2 though, don't you, Kev?
You do, but I just look, unless our angle's bad.
Yeah, it's worth. Oh, fair enough. Measure it if you feel like it, but it's 1. We'll be seeing another end, at least from these guys. Maybe. If not, it was another, just a bit unlucky there from Kieran Wheeler, because he did play it well. Yeah, just 1.
Yeah,
That's
we-
okay.
We were right. I thought
I was beginning to lose a bit of confidence.
when he put the measure out, I was a bit,
Yeah,
I was a bit surprised actually when the measure came out. But of course, that's your entitlement to do so.
Yeah, fair call. So we see Donald Stevens move to a 20-point to 14 lead over Kieran Wheeler.
And the match between Dean Robertson of Burnside with his director Kevin Smith up against Tom Boyd, also of Burnside, with his wife Gay as a director. It is Tom Boyd that is leading 12 shots to 5, 12-5 in the race to 21. It's our pleasure to bring you this coverage from the Summerset Nationals bowls here at the Burnside Club in Christchurch, and also running right now around the greens of Christchurch is the last day's section play for the men's pairs. 3 rounds today, requiring 4 out of 6 to qualify. And the women's singles, where they too are now playing round 4. And again, it is 4 out of 6 to qualify. And post-section play will get underway tomorrow of both of those disciplines around the event greens of Christchurch. And we'll have the finals, semi-finals, finals, all the live action here. We'll be covering and streaming those semi-finals and finals.
Yes, and looking forward to those events. They're going to be very good viewing, I think, Kev.
Oh, I'm sure we're in for some, looking at the quality of the field, I'm sure we're in for some 2 good finals.
Absolutely, as we see Donald Stevens, he fell a bit short with his first bowl. And Kieran drawing one inside that on the opposite hand, on his backhand.
Well, which noticeably, I don't know it's intentional, but we changed the length a bit here as well.
It has changed, yes.
Alex, so we're just short of the 2 metre mark, and the sun's now coming out, looking out from the window here.
Yeah, what rain.
What rain at all. I don't know where it came from. They were talking about a few moments back. But
see a correction here from Donald.
Yeah, I don't think he's far away here, though, with this second bowl sitting on
down
20.
Onto the jack.
Toucher, is it?
Left the jack behind. He was not far away from picking that one up.
Now, the big thing here now for Kieran Wheeler, use that last bowl of Donald Stevens. That's your position. That's your jack. You've got to endeavour to sit inside that bowl. And
how is it?
The line of the bowl is pretty good, really. It's just going to be on the weight, I think, Alex. Is it going to get all the way? It's going to get all the way. How fast is it going to run? Is it going to run too far?
No, he's in for one there, so he's holding on. I think we'll see Donald. He may as well stay on his forehand. He's played a good bowl there already. Do a similar thing again. See if he can just hold that match shot. You want to be holding that one. You want to give every opportunity for your opposition to be feeling that pressure.
I just saw Colin Wheeler there indicating to Kieran how far away. And again, this bowl of Stevens is on that arc, that lovely arc. It hasn't quite got the weight.
Not got the weight there. So,
and I saw Colin Wheeler indicating that the meter, obviously saying to Kieran while you were sitting a meter, on the other side of the jack. So hold that weight. Just make sure you get that line right. A wee bit wider on the line.
He's taking a tighter.
There's a tighter line. This one though.
Tighter one than he would have liked. If he gets around the front, it's not going to be horrible. He might clog up that forehand option.
Well, I was going to say that forehand's getting tight lines down through there now. Past the Donald Stevens bowl.
I'd be tempted to switch, but we'll see what happens. Yep, very cool, Donald. Just going to have a nosy.
Really, it's a matter of looking at, but if you look at the arc of where his bowls, where the Stevens bowls come from, you would think is it's still inside that bowl, because if he gets past his own front bowl, he's really running on a natural line towards the jack, isn't he?
Yes.
So it's really, the breaking point is really just outside his own short bowl. If he just brushes around there, or just gets around the outside of that, he will certainly be drawing towards the head.
Yeah, just making the decision. I mean, what a shot it would be if he was able to sit with one. Again, we see that psychology. We've seen 3 bowls from Donald Stevens. He haven't been overly convincing. He had that one sort of brush with the jack, and Kieran Wheeler's chucked a couple close. So Kieran will be thinking, chances are Donald's probably going to miss this one.
Well, we know that Wheeler's capable of drawing close. So Stevens just readjusted him on the mat, his feet in the right position.
On the forehand, let it go smooth.
Oh,
here we go. He's wanting this one to be counting. He wants.
I just question it may be on the too quick side. Doesn't want to get this bowl. Goes by with pace.
He could have hit that one up for 3.
Well, I was going to say, if he got onto those bowls sitting on with that weight, certainly would have had enough impact to make a count up. So here is now.
Kieran will just want to draw another one on his backhand. Green's probably important, isn't it, Kev? He just
very much so here, because he's really better, certainly better green with this bowl, that's for sure. That's on that more generous arc towards the jack. Here it comes. You'll see it now swinging towards the centre line.
Down to his weight.
Just how far is it going to run? If it'll finish right on the centre line, literally on the centre line.
Yeah.
More than likely a foot of weight.
Slightly, yeah, perhaps slightly overplayed. We'll see when they do the score. Donald conceding the one.
And I think it's just the one, would you say?
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think it's just the one there.
Yeah.
But it's still alive, are his hopes. 15-20, looking not to repeat the final loss from last year, the Colin and Kieran Wheeler combination. 15-20 now down to Donald Stevens, and Donald Stevens just looking for that 1 point to get
Hard
over
one.
the line.
So again, now we're going to really that short length, which no doubt they know how many. As you say, they've got those markers on the side of the ring.
Yeah, the markers.
So they know, what the what that point is, don't they? How many metres it is.
Yep. So the jack is thrown, and the marker looks to the side ditch end, and there's little numbers there, just numbering how many metres up it is, and they call that out.
So it wasn't up.
Can't have made it. That's probably a sign of pressure, I think, Kev. It's probably, when you get tense, you tend to, that's when you tend to start not quite making it up as far as you'd like.
Trying to get the comfort of the length that you want.
Yeah.
And because it's always, if you want to play that shorter length, Alex, it's always more challenging as well if you've brought the mat up a couple of metres as well. The sort of the error or the margin of error becomes smaller.
Yeah, I tend to just be dramatic, and I bring the mat right up to the 2 metre and try and throw my jack between the 2 metre mark and the ditch.
Yeah, well,
I either get it or I don't.
Well, funnily enough, you followed us when we went to Australia the other year in the Trans-Tasman Māori Nations, etc. Australians, of course, love playing with the mat up, jack on the 2 metre mark.
Yes. Running
on 15-second greens. And they can play those tight lines down towards the jack, trying to get that jack movement into the ditch. It's a homemade shot for them. They love it. You don't very often see the mat all the way back towards the 2 metre mark and the jack sitting at the 2 metre mark. Very seldom you'll see the Australians play that.
So we see here Kieran's first bowl missing narrow, and Donald Stevens jumping on it again. He's holding the match now. He's thinking, right, if I can hold on to that 1 point.
Well, it's good to hold it from bowl one, isn't it?
Yes,
because
it is.
Straight away,
About
putting
that
pressure straight back onto the opposition, aren't you? Who's sitting on 15.
Consistently apply it and hope that it's enough. Kieran on his backhand as well.
Well, he's done a more.
Not sure if his weight is convincing.
Not sure about this.
We'll see the bowl come into shot. No, he's
fall under the centre line and
similar weight again. And that's sort of
2 left.
Yeah, they're frustrating bowls because you haven't missed it by a mile, but you haven't helped yourself for your next 2. There's nothing there that they can use with their 3rd and 4th bowls.
Well, the danger, or the not danger, but the consciousness is that you need a metre, not 2 metres. Go 2 metres in the right path. So it's not as easy just to say, put a
just
metre.
Add a little bit.
Just add a little bit. It's because if you look, they're not that far away. It's just getting
2 reasonable bowls.
Just getting that metre.
They've just finished in hideous places, really. It's nicer when you...
Well, it becomes a one-hand end, doesn't it?
When you're able to miss a metre past or slightly less than a metre past with your first bowl, you can easily work back from that. And if you keep the same weight, you're moving the jack back towards them.
Here's what we've spoken about the other day as well, Alex. You just
big pressure now.
You just get out on that wider side. And then we spoke about the weight. That's the old...
Absolutely. Donald Stevens will be looking, just chuck another one close-ish and go right. That's clever. I like that. He's chasing his bowl up. He knows he's holding the win.
Well, it's all going to be about the weight with this bowl here because it's down that wider side. But
he's up that end for as much for the wheeler's benefit as it is for his own, I think.
Absolutely.
Well played. So here we go. The championship at the moment as it lies is sitting with Donald Stevens. Kieran Wheeler, again, he's already played a game, saving shot.
Having a chat with Dad, quick chat. Is this the final of the partially sided Summerset National Singles? Just checking that bias, a deep breath. See the shoulders up and down, which just takes that deep breath on the backhand. Holding cloth bowls, New Zealand cloth on the hand. And it's certainly on of the bowls that have been
Save a
played.
game.
It's on the best line of all the bowls that have
To
been
save the
played.
game.
And
He's
he's going to
close.
get this
He's
is
close.
close. This is close.
Has
Is
he
he
done
going to
it?
save the game? I think he may have. Falls out.
Well, they're carrying the mat up. And Donald Stevens got a bowl to go.
He has too.
So, is he? What's happened?
Well, he's one down, isn't he? Otherwise, he wouldn't be playing this one, would he?
Well, I agree. If he's one down, that's an absolutely brilliant shot there from Kieran Wheeler. Under huge pressure, he played
Huge
two bowls,
pressure.
narrow and short. One bowl well passed. And we see...
Took his time on the mat. Saw the
Yeah,
big
good
deep
shot,
breath.
good
Shoulders, the shoulders up and down. He just poised himself on the mat. Now, the Riccarton Racecourse player, Donald Stevens, also on the back end, trying to get
There we
past
go.
to get
Looking
the
to win his
shot.
championship.
Is that too wide? I think it is,
I think
Alex.
it is as well. I think we're going to see the Wheeler combination put another point on the board, and that was wow, what a great shot that was from Kieran Wheeler. If it is one,
Oh, I think they're mucking around.
it isn't one.
It is
It
not
isn't
one.
So-
Well, that was surprising.
right. Well, congratulations there. Massive congratulations to Donald Stevens for winning the
partially
cited National Championship singles, and the commiserations to Kieran Wheeler and Colin Wheeler. That was a spirited game of bowls.
Certainly was, but Kieran Wheeler, runner-up now 2 years in a row,
Yeah.
losing the final last year to Stephen Delaney, and I'm sure he'd drawn the shot there
Yeah,
with that,
it was a
that
good
last
shot.
bowl.
So watch out for them, I would say.
And especially when, of course, Donald Stevens went back and played his last game.
Yes.
So, as Alex just said, congratulations to Donald Stevens, the Riccarton Racecourse Club here in Christchurch, who is the winner of the partially cited Summerset National Singles. And, of course, the other final, which is underway, is between Tom Boyd of Burnside and Dean Robinson, also of Burnside. And we'll give you that final score. So we'll be back later with... Oh, we're back. Sorry.
Back now.
We're back.
That's
How
okay.
quick's that?
I'll
Oh.
take that opportunity to bid you adieu, though, Kev, because my phone's starting to buzz with results from
Results are
around
coming
the
through.
place, and I would hate to not have them updated super fast
You've got to
for
do that.
the keen punters. So thank you for having me.
16-5, Thomas Boyd now over Dean Robinson of Burnside,
Oh, go away.
the two Burnside players in the B1, B2 Summerset final. Thank you, Alex, for being with me this morning. Appreciate it. And we've got some chunks being delivered here. I don't know what we'll see what they are. Alex is always bringing some little raspberry chocolate twists we've got today. And, of course, the lovely cheese rolls delivered by the ladies, the catering ladies here at Burnside. So we have seen Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse defeat Kieran Wheeler 21 shots to 15 in the partially sided final here at the Summerset National Championships at the Burnside Greens in Christchurch. And we're now back with the final between Thomas Boyd of Burnside and Dean Robinson of Burnside, with Boyd leading by 16 shots to 5. As we see, lovely bowl here from Dean Robinson. In fact, he draws a toucher as the Burnside player with his director, Kevin Smith. Sun now coming out after we've had some morning showers, skittery showers blowing through here at Burnside. But now back to the sun's come out. Good shot from Dean Robertson. And the bowler, Thomas Boyd, is going to be pretty short. So Kevin Smith, the director for Dean Robinson, just telling him where to play. You'll see the foot go down on the mat. Knows he's got to be inside that, telling him what weight to play. Telling him the distance from where he's standing to where the jack is.
You can get out to the toe so you're tight again.
Holding the shot is Robinson. And this bowl is going to be low of the jack.
Speed's handy, just got
And just still the one shot. Trailing 16-5 is Dean Robertson over Tom Boyd, the two Burnside players. And their marker, Margaret Gray. So, wife, Gay, just giving some final instructions to Tom, who really, leading 16-5, will just be endeavouring to try and get as close as he can to get second shot. Got the shot, it's really a bonus. Needs to get past these front bowls. Not going to do so. But still just the one down as the lead is Tom Boyd. So we'll see now. Robertson will play his last bowl with some indications given to him by his director, Kevin Smith, who's certainly the advocate for the blind bowlers here in New Zealand. There's those couple of swings of the arm on the forehand, trying to draw another counter. Looks as though he's going to be outside that counting zone, and it will be. So it'll be 1-2 Robertson, who now trails Tom Boyd by 16 shots to 6. And they'll now play down towards the car park end here at Burnside, where we'll have action here again, of course, tomorrow. We'll be bringing you more coverage from the Paras tomorrow. I'm not sure of who, of course, yet, or what games they'll be, but we'll have you live coverage again tomorrow. And then, of course, on the 9th, we will have the final of the men's pairs, Summerset National men's pairs. Defending champions Mike Galloway, the defending champions Lance Pascoe, and Jamie Hill. They went through unbeaten yesterday. And also we'll have then the final of the women's singles, where the defending champion is Nicole Toomey, who in fact lost a game yesterday and needs 2 out of her 3 games today to qualify for post-section play. And we'll have you the semi-final, finals, the latter stages of those 2 events, which will draw to a close the Summerset National Championships here in Christchurch. And of course we will be back in late February with the Summerset National men's and ladies fours and the mixed pairs, which will be held in Taranaki. And of course we'll be bringing you live coverage from there as well. And we're just a message out there to all the players around the countryside. If you haven't got your entry in yet for those Summerset National fours or mixed pairs, please get your entry in. You'll have a wonderful time in Taranaki, I can assure you. Enjoying the hospitality of Taranaki and that great catering around those country greens of Taranaki, the likes of Leopardon, Inglewood, Stratford, around to Ookra and Okato. They'll certainly look after you. And a message too to the people of Taranaki to get your combination, especially in the mixed pairs, get your combination together and join in those mixed pairs where you've got both the mixed pairs and the fours. 2 days of section play and then post-section play. The next event that we will be live streaming is back here, in fact, at Burnside next weekend, where we will be covering the Burnside Invitation Pairs, which gets away the back end of next week, with finals being played on Sunday of next week. And we'll be bringing you that live coverage from there. And then the following week, we will be live streaming again when Tamara and myself will be in New Plymouth, the final stages of the Taranaki Open Fours. And we'll be bringing you live coverage as well from the latter stages of the Taranaki Open Fours from the greens of New Plymouth. As we see this bowl of Dean Robertson just run by with it being 16-6 to Thomas Boyd of Burnside. Remember, both these players are from Burnside.
Short down there, hey? That's good foul.
The threat of rain has sort of disappeared now. I'm looking out from our room where we're commentating from, and we've got blue sky out there now. So we'll have should have an uninterrupted day to bring you these finals here from the Burnside Greens in Christchurch. So you see this bowl of Thomas Boyd, that seems to be really right out on the right, coming back towards the centre line now. Is it going to stop on the centre line? Just sits outside it. That'll be shot from the Burnside player. Just sits higher than Jack. Sits at about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Half a metre from the Jack.
Play it to 30. It's all good.
So Kevin Smith giving directions to Tom Boyd, to Dean Robertson.
Good, nice.
See Robertson give that 2 or 3
good delivery.
Swings of the bowl.
Trying hard, pal.
Looks like a pretty good line. Does this bowl of Dean Robertson as it comes down towards the Jack? Is it going to sit inside the bowl for shot? It does. Gets a touch on it and sits right on the centre line. Just but a few centimetres from the Jack. Well played from the player. Dean Robinson trailing 16 shots to 6. Well played on the draw. You'll see there Tom Boyd just making sure, comfort knowing where his feet are. That gives him knowing where his arm goes to get that delivery of the bowl, to get it out so that it'll get into the natural arc. His wife Gay, director, would have told him about
Played his second.
where it's located. And again,
Looks like he's going to be
just not quite going to get here. No, it's got a metre or so of weight required, but we're certainly on a good line.
You do this. Here we go. Same bowl. Through the toe.
Getting last minute instructions there from Kevin Smith.
Good. Yeah, arc's really good again. Speed's handy too.
Again, good line here from Dean Robertson. As this comes down towards a Jack, this is another excellent bowl from the Burnside player. Comes right towards the centre line.
On the centre line twice. I don't know
So we'll be holding 2 shots.
Might only be one, but you're met length over, maybe a yard. 2 good bowls.
You'll see now, Tom Boyd got his feet positioned, felt his way to, now he'll get right down to that on his knee. So that's where he takes the arc of the bowl.
Exactly the same bowl. You don't
His
change.
wife Gay
All right.
just telling him the estimated meterage from the front of the mat to where the Jack's position on the green. Going to be short. And can Robertson now continue with those 2 good bowls he's played on this end? One just nestled in behind the Jack. You'll see there Tom Boyd and his wife Gay having a chat, just more than likely working out
Same bowl.
how far short or where the bowl was. And remember, these particular players have very limited sight capability, natural sight capability, and need the assistance of a director to be able to tell them exactly where to go.
Come all the way back.
So there,
Hook.
ability
Or even a foot too
is
far. Very
outstanding,
good.
really,
5.
when you consider the challenges of which they're faced with, these sight challenges. But they're still out here playing, enjoying the camaraderie, enjoying the competition.
Very good bowls, Tim. They were nice rhythm. All in the pocket. All this 18 inches, 2 feet a yard over, not even a yard. Tom's got too short.
So 2 down, I would say, is Boyd, who is leading on 16 shots to 6.
He's a bit faster here. As long as he doesn't knock his side one in.
Just outside the line was
Rushed it and did nothing.
Tom Boyd.
Lift your foot, Tommy.
Definitely a shot,
Ooh,
maybe
camera
2
fell over
to
in the wind. Tamara will be running out.
the other Burnside player.
Carnage at the Beckett Burnside Bowling Club. I reckon you've got 2.
So definitely 1 to
Maybe, we'll see as we get closer. You may not have, might have 1.
Dean Robertson.
No, you only
I'll
need
be
1
checking
there.
to see whether it's 2 or not. The yellow bowl
1.
is that of Robertson.
No, there's only 1. Second shot. 1 for Dean. Thank you.
Now 16-7.
Same as what we just did. Matt here, a couple of 3 metres up, but we didn't get to throw it. So what we did, we threw it in the ditch. So you can't throw full length. You've just got to throw comfortable. So it's got to be short of the
So
long,
both
just a comfortable medium length.
Dean Robertson and Kevin Smith having a talk about where the delivery of the jack's going to be, or the length of the delivery of the jack.
Yeah, should stay in play. We'll see.
So here's the jack delivered right down to towards the 2 metre mark, and you'll see the marker,
Yes, that's 29. So part is 28.
Margaret Gray, has placed the jack. Now Kevin Smith will have given the instructions to
Just get to the toe.
Dean Robertson.
29.
And the jack is right back to the 2 metre mark.
The wind in play. This is good. Through the toe. Brush your pants. Good. Through the toe.
Characteristic 3 or 4 swings of the arm
Nice arc to start.
from Robertson. He's got the bowl out on a pretty good arc, it's for sure. Breaking its way down in towards the centre line now. How much weight has it got? It's going to sit lower the jack by about 1.5 metres.
Handy bowl. Not a bad effort.
So no doubt we'll see Tom Boyd. So would follow that bowl. Wife Gay just adjusting the mat and giving some instructions too. Stepping out to a point for Tom to establish. He's got to play down that line just under the foot of Gay to get to it, and then the weight and that arc on the back end.
You're at 8 o'clock. He's got a chance of knocking
Of course, needs to get past this front bowl of Robertson's. In fact, he's going to run into the bolt and move it closer towards the head, and does so, just sitting outside the jack. And around about jack high, at around about 330.
Here we go. Just get to the toe bud and go another 1.5 metres. You can draw this.
So
Through the toe bud.
again, Dean Robertson getting advice from his director, Kevin Smith. And that characteristic swing of the arm on the forehand.
Really like the arm.
Is Robertson trailing 16-7 in this race to 21. Definitely on a wider line with this bowl. How far is this going to come back now towards the centre line? Making its way back now. Just again needs that metre of running, but will count. So Tom Boyd now, I'm sure, will stay on his forehand, asking a question. His wife Kay, the director, working about the shot and telling her husband on his backhand where that line is and what the length of the head is. So on the backhand is Tom Boyd. I don't think it'll come all the way back. Working its way back towards the centre line now, but it's really wide of the mark. Not going to change things from there, and will definitely be the shot still from Dean Robertson, trailing by 16 shots to 7.
Yeah, that's good, Art. 1 yard more.
Remember, it's the first to 21.
Through the toe, brush your pants. Speed's better to bring you home here. All good.
And going by is Dean Robertson, right back towards the under the number on the ditch line, just under the ditch line, but holding the shot, trailing 16 shots to 7. And we'll see Tom Boyd, also the Burnside club, will play on that backhand. See behind Kevin Smith talking to his charge, Dean Robertson, giving him some further advice. Bit of cloud cover coming in again, but I don't think there's any threat of any more rain. Under the line, this will be this bowler, Tom Boyd's. Well, not a bit of weight, but just not. Won't hold up to the jack line, will it? No, it won't. And it falls in, may do so. They might ask the question, who's got shot from my position. And rightly so, asking the marker, Margaret Gray, who's got the shot.
Thank you.
And Margaret's informed the other end who's got the shot, but we're none the wiser. I'm going to assume that it's still the shot bowl of Dean Robinson sitting higher the jack at around 3:30. That I think is still the shot, and the jack low bowl sitting at about 11 o'clock. Between 10 and 11 o'clock, the jack low bowl of Tom Boyd's.
Out to 29, through the toe.
Would be second shot.
Good.
Remembering our angle, of course, is a wee bit different to what's on the head, but just from having a quick look, that's what I think. So, this bowler, Dean Robinson, this is starting on a very, very good, on a good arc. How's the weight as it comes in towards the head now? Needs another metre of running, another metre will get up to the counting area. Not to beat, fell short by that metre and a half. So now we'll see Tom Boyd will play his last bowl, getting his instructions from his director and wife Gay, pointing out. Again, you'll see there, checking at foot, make sure that he knows that he's on that natural line so that the bowl will get that arc, feel comfortable. Of course, as we said before with Alex when he was with me, that everybody's got their own sort of, their own pattern of how they read and understand the head for these, for the directors, for these impaired, visually impaired bowlers. But this is going to be short, this bowl of Tom Boyd's. And I'm thinking it's still one. We'll wait and see what the from Margaret Gray. She's still looking at it. The players, of course, will, well, the directors will decide who's got shot.
Oh, good.
With Thomas Boyd leading 16-7 over Dean Robinson in this race to 21 in the B1, B2
But I think
visually
you're right.
impaired
So do I.
final.
We've played a different shot. You want me to measure that for you?
And it looks, out comes the measure.
Just off the jet.
Going firstly to the Robertson bowl. Now coming around to the Tom Boyd bowl. And we'll
Ah,
see
yeah, good eye, Wendy.
from this angle now. It looks different now to what. So you see Kevin Smith
Oh, well.
holding the jack and picking up the match. That indicates to me
Yeah.
that
It's always a bit
it
weird
was
stuff. Come to me,
the
Dean.
one to
We'll just
Dean
do
Robertson.
stuff here.
It was.
Let's go again. 16-8.
Taking us to 16-8 now. Kevin Smith laying the mat for his player.
Your speed.
And of course also going on around the greens of Christchurch now is the last day or second day of qualifying for the women's singles. 3 rounds played yesterday. Of course needing 4 out of 6 to qualify. 3 rounds played yesterday. Further 3 today.
Oh,
And also the men's peers, where they also played 3 rounds in section play yesterday.
forehand.
Another 3 today, and 4 out of 6 to qualify for post section, which will be played. Will get underway tomorrow. And remembering all of those
Go
results
finger wider.
will be on the Bowls New Zealand website, round by round, game by game. All of the results. Just go to the Bowls New Zealand website, www.bowlsnz.co.nz, and all the results will be there. And also, of course, later on tonight,
Good.
the draw and location of the post-section play of the women's singles and men's pairs will be posted on the Bowls New Zealand website. So let's watch this first bowl of Robertson go by the head by a good couple of metres. See the jack there, it's sitting about a metre low of the 2 metre mark to the ditch, and that went by for a couple of metres. So now we'll see Tom Boyd of Burnside leading 16-8 in this B1, B2 visually impaired final. Just updating you that the partially sighted final, that final has been completed, and that was won by Donald Stevens of the Riccarton Racecourse Club here in Christchurch, and he defeated Kieran Wheeler of Northeast Valley in Dunedin. Second year in a row that Kieran Wheeler has been the runner-up in this event. Last year was defeated by Steve Delaney of Nelson, and this year it was Donald Stevens of Riccarton Racecourse. So here's now Dean Robertson, one down on the head. Very good opening bowl here from Tom Boyd, and on the forehand is Robertson. See those natural swing of the arms. He gives every bowl. There it goes on his forehand. Needs to get past the front bowl of Tom Boyd's to try to make shot of it. It's on a pretty good line. It's on a very good line, in fact. It has the weight. Just going to die in weight. Was certainly heading in the right direction.
I think.
And of course, Commonwealth Games later this year in Birmingham. The bowls will be played at Leamington on Spa. The Paras and the New Zealand blind bowlers will be there representing New Zealand as part of the Bowls New Zealand Commonwealth Games side. Those sides, of course, still to be selected. Of course, our men's and women's side will be competing as they have every 4 years at Commonwealth Games, where there's 5 men selected and 5 women who will represent the Blackjacks representing New Zealand.
Position, please, Wendy.
The Commonwealth Games at Leamington on Spa.
Go on,
Leamington
put your life
Spa,
on it.
the headquarters for Bowls England.
Oh, come on.
A beautiful big park. Not that far, in fact, out of Birmingham. It's a big park-like surroundings.
Can I come to the
There's
head, please?
Leamington on Spa.
There's no time limit, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, Kevin Smith going up to have a look at the head to check whether. So on that basis, so too is Gay Boyd also going to have a look to see what the position is of who's
No,
got the
it's a
shot.
measure,
The
but-
marker, Margaret Gray, indicated that it was a measure for the shot.
Ooh, it's-
So Kevin Smith now making his way back to the mat after the marker had
Come to the mat,
indicated, Margaret Gray had indicated
Come to the
that
mat,
it was
keep
a
coming.
measure for shot.
Coming. Backhand, it's a measure. Backhand. 29, Dean. Oh, 31 we're playing, aren't we? Go finger to your right. Good. Okay, just go and draw it a good shot. 31. Through the toe. Through the toe.
So here there is
Didn't quite get out wide
Dean
enough.
Robertson, change of hand here.
And I don't think
So
it's
on
up
that
enough.
basis, one would
Well, you
think
probably are up enough. You know,
from
long way
his
narrow.
director Kevin Smith who went to have a look at the head
Speed's actually
that
excellent.
the shot
Dean,
was
but
in fact
it's
being
not
held by
arcing back that sort of
his
thing.
charge, Dean Robertson, but we'll wait and see.
Speed's perfect, really.
So again, you see Tom Boyd just getting those feet right on the mat where he feels comfortable, knowing that he's in the right position.
Tom's played. He looks
So
fast,
on the forehand,
much faster.
looks to be on that wider side, and will go by.
I'll just line you up. He's gone meters over. You come and draw the shot. You go up to the mat there. Backhand speed's great. Go, well, yeah, no, that's good arc. Same speed then. You can draw this. Find the toe.
Kevin Smith is giving his man husband instructions, measure of a shot at 16-8 to Boyd. Two Burnside players in this race to 21. It's got a bit of a swing of the hand there. Just a
Get onto your own
bowl
bowl
of
here
a
or round your.
inward
You're close
sort
here,
of
pal.
grip then. Got a
You're close
looks
here.
there's a
Well
top
played.
bowl coming here from Robertson. Gets past, turns his own
Definitely in
bowl
for shot.
over.
Well played.
It's certainly, one would
That's
think,
fine,
because
that's
it's sitting
fine.
right on the centre line now, and that run of three bowls,
You got
that'll
one
be the
enough to
shot.
Or not? You definitely got one. That's good. Load
So
up,
Gay,
here for a long time.
Boyd, giving that last minute instructions to husband Tom. So here he is. Definitely, I would say one down on the head, on the backhand, leading 16-8.
Chris, bring some water, bud. Please.
Just going to question the speed. Certainly had the right direction to get back to the area where it needed to be. And Margaret Gray still having a further look at it. We'll quickly see in a moment what's happened. Here comes the measure again. So it was 1, 2. Dean Robertson. Now trailing by 16 shots to 9 in this final. Against fellow clubmate, Burnside clubmate, Thomas Boyd. And of course the results will start to be coming in from the round 4 of section play of the men's peers and women's singles, and they will all be posted on the Bowls New Zealand website as they come through. So just go to the website and you'll be able to get right up to date with what's going on around the greens of Christchurch in these. We're into round 4, in fact, of the section play of both the women's singles and men's peers.
Good, nice speed. Looks a tiny bit wide, I think, but not too bad. It will come a long way back. Good speed you played. That's the crucial part too. Well done.
So we see this bowler, Dean Robertson. It's a pretty good opening bowl.
Good opening bowl.
Just in behind them, about 7 o'clock, over Jack High. And we've seen the last few ends, in fact, we've seen it's been the comeback of Dean Robertson, who was trailing, of course, by 16 shots to 9, but just continuously managed to draw the shot.
Tom's played.
When required on the backhand. This looks a better line, this bowl of Tom Boyd, but hasn't got the weight.
Measure a bit short, maybe. I don't know who's got shot. This is the last bowl shot.
So you see Kevin Smith guiding his player to the mat,
Dean, I think we should go to backhand.
indicating where the shot bowl is,
Right.
asking the question
Heading
of
out
the
yard.
marker, Margaret Gray.
It's not quite as wide because the wind's coming right across there now.
Yep.
All right, so just get the finger that way. Through the toe bud. One more yard, play it to 31.
On the
Through the toe.
backhand
Good,
is
nice speed.
Dean Robertson.
Just a bit
Bloody
tight.
holding the shot.
Enough speed, I think, to keep
Question
you
the
out of
line
trouble.
on
but
this
I don't know.
bowl. Needs to get under the bowl if Tom Boyd's not going to do so. We've got to run under the back of it.
Great speed, Dean. Just
Boyd now.
a tiny bit narrow.
Play his
Got a
second
down
bowl.
at 5 o'clock, which you nearly hit.
Just getting those
As you swoop
indication
across
from
underneath the head.
his director,
But speed,
who was his wife.
just go find it.
Gay.
Toe a wee bit more. It's not much. Good speed. Got it. Nice. Really finding speed better.
On the backhand,
It's very narrow.
again, is under the line. It's way under the line. That boy be disappointed with that.
Net. Same speed. Find that line.
So is this a big comeback here from Robertson? He's certainly drawn,
Same
I would
speed,
say, the
it's a
more
toe. Don't have to
consistent
steer it,
bowls
follow
over
through
the
nice.
last few ends.
Open palm. Same speed, so in we go.
So here now, there's
Oh,
Dean
and
Robertson
Ty's got
again
right underneath
on
the
the
toe.
backhand.
Follow
But
through.
that's certainly going to be
to the toe,
under the
right
line.
under
You can
there.
see the delivery point.
Right.
It's under the line,
Yeah,
and it
also
is.
taken off 3 metres. We're at 31. Right.
So Tom Boyd trying to make whatever here to try and get some adjustment. Certainly wants to get back into scoring mode, that's for sure. Because hasn't been sort of getting the bowls as close as he would have liked over these last few ends. So here he is, his wife Gay as his director on the backhand. Again, I just question that line as it comes down towards the jack now. That's going to disappear well away under the centre line. It does so, but might be fortuitous. No, I thought we were going to sit inside the bowl, sit on the back of it. Would have been a fortuitous outcome for him. Didn't do so.
The 31.
So Kevin
Pitch your
Smith
toe to the right.
just giving last minute instructions to
There you go, 31.
his
Tell.
man.
Make it count. Right on top of that. Top of the jack. Through the toe.
On the backhand
Yeah, nice. Through
is
the toe.
Robertson.
Good. Ooh, might have got a shade quick, but might not have. It just depends on your arc. No, you're handy here, Dean. This is the best arc.
There's a
There's a
good
really good
looking
speed. If you
bowl
trail
here
the
for
jack round the
Robertson
corner,
as
you'll
it
get
breaks
three.
in towards the head now.
Stop your bugger.
Just going to question
Stop,
how
stop,
far is it
stop.
going to run.
Got a yard
Well,
too
he
fast.
ran a
It was
wee bit
good effort.
further than what he wanted, but
Good
was
effort. It
certainly
the best arc.
on the line that he
Still finished
wanted
6
to the
inches
jack.
narrow of the jack, but
Now,
he's down to the last bowl. We're line 1.
see whether Tom Boyd can
Good.
improve with his last bowl. Certainly
Good game.
has been struggled with his first 3. His wife Gay will be endeavouring to give him the right instruction to get to the right spot on the green. Is that swing of the arm now down in that kneeling position. On the backhand.
Narrow, but,
This is on a better
a lot
line.
of speed here. We want him to.
How
if
far
he's
is it
like
going to
a jack,
hold
we want
up?
him to
It's
run
certainly
off.
on a better line. He's going to get the jack. He
Missed the
goes
jack.
by
He's a
the
couple of
jack.
metres. In we go, Dean. Sorry, Tom.
Desperately unlucky there.
She said we had shot. It wouldn't have mattered. We still would have played the same.
The marker,
The second, I think. So you must definitely have one.
Margaret Gray, having a look around the head to see.
One or
what the
two.
position is. Might see the
Oh, come
See
on
the
now.
measure, I
You got
think,
good eyes.
coming
You got
out
the best
here.
eyes, a lot of us. That's shot. I'll take that out.
and one
I
has
think
come
maybe go
out.
to the top of it. Yeah, second shot there. One.
And looks like it might just be the one. And
Take
it
the one,
is.
Wendy.
So a further 1-2. Dean Robertson.
Same play.
16-10 now. Come back was 16-7 down. And endeavouring to clamber back, get those points back in this race to 21.
Just feel it. Feel it and play your bowl the same. Good. It's in play, well done.
So Jack's been delivered by Dean Robertson,
Maybe
trailing
31,
by
might be
16
29, might be
shots
30.
to 11. Just lower the 2 metre mark, a metre or so lower the 2 metre mark.
31 still, so we're at 29, 28, 29 here.
Kevin
Yeah,
Smith giving
27
his last minute
yeah,
instructions
yeah.
to
Don't go slow, but play 27. Get a finger wider on
Dean
your draw, 2
Robertson,
fingers.
squaring
Yeah,
his shoulders up there on the mat. Make
good.
sure
So
that his
27,
body's the
Dean,
right
feel
angle
27.
to deliver the bowl. Do a wonderful job,
Here's
these
a toe, nice line.
directors, to assist their players
Good.
to
Good arc here, pal.
the best
Mate.
opportunity.
Handy speed too, I think.
There's
That's
a
a good
very
bowl.
good opening bowl here from Dean Robertson,
length
just
away,
going to
not
finish
even that.
lower the jacket by about
Maybe
half
that
a
one.
metre,
Well done.
but certainly
Well done, Donny.
was on line and putting the pressure,
It's a mat length, that's good, mate.
putting the pressure on Tom Boyd, who's leading 16-11, and Dean Robertson certainly giving himself every chance. Is that familiar swing? Now get down on the knees, will Tom Boyd, and that's where he will deliver from. He's checked his feet to make sure he's happy with his position of the feet. That all
Narrow.
determines his line of the bowl.
I'd like him to hit you up, to be
It's
quite
going to be under the line again, but may sit with the
Shouldn't run
jack.
away
No, it
from
won't.
speed,
It
I
goes
think,
by.
2 metres through.
So it will still be the
There he
front
is.
bowl of
Just a mat length, Dean, so pretty similar.
Dean Robertson's, which is shot.
That's 27. Finger to your left. Good. Good toe good. You can draw this. Very similar, 27. Good. It's a good line again, pal. Speed's handy as well. If the wind leaves you alone, you're very close. Come on back. Well played here, pal. You're only mat lengths over. You've got 2 shots within a mat length. Good pass. Very nice adjustment. The wind killed you to keep you out.
So shortly, I'll leave you in the hands of the director of Kevin Smith. You can clearly hear through the mic. She's looking after Dean Robertson. You can clearly hear from his directions that he's giving to his player of how things are looking on the head. 16-11, and at this point to Thomas Boyd, and I'm sure you'll be well suited. You'll know exactly what's going on from Kevin Smith, the marker, also the director, and of course the scoreboard, which goes up after every end. As we see Thomas Boyd, who, to be fair, struggled the last couple of ends to get some of that consistency, ran in then to the Dean Robertson bowl. He was on line. And it's the one shot, asking the marker was Kevin Smith, the director. So it is 1-2, his man, Dean Robertson. And he's certainly making a great comeback as Robertson. And those directors also give them that motivation, encouragement,
Palm through the toe.
and of course advice.
Go, please. Steered, but you didn't need to steer.
Holding the shot is Robertson, sitting on a wide arc with this bowl.
You pick that one up, Wendy. Yep.
And it'll be
Only 2
come
metres
in
short.
inside the come into the inside the pegs. So Gay Boyd just giving those advice instructions to her partner or husband Tom, who was leading this final of the B1 B2 visually impaired bowls here at the Summerset National Championships, the Burnside Greens in Christchurch. And just confirming that earlier on we saw Donald Stevenson of the Riccarton Racecourse Club here in Christchurch defeat Kieran Wheeler of Northeast Valley in the final of the partially sighted singles here at the Summerset National Championships. And we'll have one further game to bring you this afternoon.
One more. Good. Good toe.
So Robertson trying to get another shot on the head to take control of this head. And remember, the ends don't count in this particular format. It's first to 21.
Dropped it, I think. I might have moved my foot a bit early, did I?
This bowler Robertson looks to be on the narrow side and is going to be still holding shot though.
I might have moved my foot a bit early for you. You're holding one anyway. He's got one bowl to play. Really the worst, unless he sits you through bad. We're going to have a lot, but there's really not a lot to look at. Yeah, keep yourself loose. Get here,
Coming
but
up to
16,
have a
12.
look.
Four, the diff is nothing, a long way to go. Let's see if we... Oh, we're holding shot. We're holding shot on the head, yeah, down on the board. Sun's nice. So the wind's come up. The first half of the game it was calm and calm and calm. And he was playing very well, but he's loosened up now as the conditions have changed a bit. And we're coming back, so the pressure's going on. So you keep that pressure on. All right.
Trying to decide, just getting a sense of where they've got to play this bowl. Make their way back to the mat.
So disabled are going to start their pairs over there.
So back to the mat, just Kevin Smith passing the bowl to Tom Boyd. Definitely one down on the head.
Back end again. You've got one about 2 or 3 metres short at 7 o'clock. It's a bit narrow. If he hits that, he's narrow. He's got one at 8 o'clock, about a yard from the jack. He could tumble that up for shot. So, it's coming in from left to right quite hard, but it should be narrow, I think.
Looks to be under the line to get, needs to get or rest on this bowl. They're not going to. At the rest on the Robertson bowl. It's gone by. Going to be another one to Robertson, to Dean Robertson, who will now go to, might be two, definitely one, 16-12 in this race to 21. It's Thomas Boyd of Burnside leading Dean Robertson, also of Burnside, by 16 shots to 12. I'll leave you now with, you'll hear Kevin Smith, the director of, with
Might be 2.
Dean Robertson, who will look after you through in the latter stages of this
One
final
here, Gay, for
of the
starters.
Somerset National.
I'll just measure that.
B1, B2 visually impaired final here at Burnside, and I'll just see where they're measuring for the second, I think.
I don't trust my
Into
eyes.
that back bowl.
One shot.
And just the one, you'll see the indication there, just the one. So it is 16-12 to Thomas Boyd of Burnside over Dean Robertson, also of Burnside. And I'll leave you in the hands of Kevin Smith. You'll hear there, through he's the director
Okay,
for Dean Robertson in this final this afternoon.
Maybe we're playing the same play, Dan. Yeah, bud. You'll throw 3/4, medium. Go that. Good speed. Yep, it'll be in play as well. Well done. Forehand. The 31, I think you're just a wee bit short of the tee. Same place, 31. Finger wider. Wider. Go and play that the same. Same speed as your jack. Through the toe. Nice clean delivery. Same speed. Through the toe. Just pushed it about wide, a bit wide. Didn't need to push it out. Don't have to push it out, just get to the toe. It will come back because it does turn a lot. But you've gone to 1 o'clock like we have. Maybe a yard over, but that's alright. Just to push out was the issue, just get through the toe. It's not the worst bowl in the world, it'd be probably worse than this head. It's all good. He's playing the backhand. It's very, very narrow. Let's get a good bowl on the head here. It's narrow and probably going to go out of play just about. I'll just check this bowl, Dean. Yeah, it's cutting the line. Stay on the forehand, you can draw the shot there. Good. Let's get to the, what did we say this is? 31, but we played it as 30. Yes, yeah, 30 into the wind, yeah. Just get the arc right there and we'll be laughing. Through the toe, bud. Good, through the toe. That's a better arc. I really like this arc, team. This is a good bowl, mate. Here we go. Terrific shot here, fella. Right up to the jack. Right behind the jack. 6 inches away. Well played. That's the way. Man. One's played more weight, but still should be narrow. Right, we've got a shot on the jack. He's coming in at 4 o'clock, so we're going to the backhand. All right, go and draw the shot. Remember, we want to take that good arc. So we're running away there, narrow a bit. Get your toe going to your left 2 fingers. One more, good. Right, just make sure you find the toe. Just put it through there now. We're a couple short there down the backhand movement, so we'll just go a yard, 2 yards more than you've been playing. Think what you want and then add another metre, eh? You can do this. Through the toe. Steered it out a bit wide. It's also, it's long gone. It's 2 metres plus short. So just play it as if you planted it at the tee. All right, so just play to the tee. You did get a bad wind there, but it was blowing. I was nearly going to stop you on the mat, but it stayed in there. You see that one? You've got one within 4 inches, so it's really hard for Tom. So now the wind should get worse. Against the wind because it whistles in his ear things. He's got more speed, but he still should be narrow, as long as he doesn't come off his own bowl. He come off his own bowl, got second shot. Go the backhand. We're just drawing as if you're drawing to the tee, Dean. We make it count. Setup's good. Right, you can play this. Add 2 metres on your speed. Draw through the toe. Brush your pants. And we go. Nice, through the toe. That's your best arc. May well be your best speed too down here. Got to hurry a little bit. Oh, it's close, mate. Very close here. They'll clap this one, I'm telling you now. You're a foot away. Well played. 2 shots, real close. He's on his last bowl. He's now changing to the forehand, which is hard because it's windy across there. He's got one down at 4 o'clock. He's 2 down to within a foot and 18 inches. It's a hard shot for him. It's there, but it's a hard shot. He's played 3 bowls on the other hand, and now he's changing. So. He's played his bowl. It's a reasonable line. Might be a. He might get caught on his own, or he might draw the shot here, Dean. Got caught on his own, knocked it up. Good attempt. Good attempt, but I think you've still got it, I don't know. All good. I was just getting rid of the mat. He knocked his own up, the one that was at 4 o'clock. I favour you for 2 still. But we'll get closer and see. Come on, Wendy, tell us we've got 2. Good. Gives you a wee nod.
Okay.
You have, Dean. That's the best call you made all day. 2 to Dean. Just watch that bowl for himself. You're right. 1-2. Yep. Same play cover. Come to me. 16-14. Let's nail and get a 3, eh? Yep. You throw that 3/4 speed. Through your toe, through my toe. Medium speed. Pretty good throw, Cobb. Very good, Dan. You're nearly on the tee again. Right, finger wider, a fist wider. Keep going. One more. Good. So, Dean, that's really only a metre more than we're playing, so just play the same because that's where the bowl's been roughly going anyway.
Yep.
Play it a steady one to there. Through the toe, brush your pants. Through the toe. It's got a bit tight. Come to me, yes, definitely got tight on the delivery. Got underneath the toe, Dean. It's alright, don't shake your head, just don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Just get it out through the toe.
Yep.
Speed's excellent. Alright. Speed's perfect. Don played his. I think he's a bit heavy, Dean. He's let you back in. Alright. He's 2 or 3 metres over. He's just about to go to the ditch. Just short of the ditch here, so that's good. So your speed's great. Just get over the toe. Same speed. No, that's 28, Dean. Through the toe. Just find the toe. Nice speed. Good, nice. Toe. Arc's great. Come on back now. Might be a tiny bit quick. Maybe a couple of metres. We'll see. Yeah, it is. Same as his. You can drop a couple of metres, you can. Just feel that. Feel it as 2017. Alright? You feel it as 27. Come here. I think he's still heavy, or maybe not as much. He might trail the jack here. He's knocked it down towards you, but don't know. He's probably got one about a yard away, Dean. What's the new distance, please? What's the new distance of the jack? Where is the jack in relation to the tee, will do? Thank you. And that's 1 down or 2 down? Thank you. So we're just drawn to the tee, Dean, which really only makes it 29. So we play those 28s.
Yeah.
In you go, bud. It's only a metre more than we wanted, so it's really similar. In you go. Go and draw to the tee. Jack went straight up the centre line. He's a yard away. Good, just quietly through the toe. A bit tight and light, methinks. Yeah. Yeah. No worries, you're on the centre line, but you're 2.5, 3 metres short. You need a good bowl here. You can do this. I think he's faster, but I don't know. jack again, the bugger. Trail it down to his own. So that's now. How far past the 2 metres is that jack, please? Okay, that's fine. So it's just a mat width to the left of the centre line. We're 2 down probably. Alright, so let's go down and draw a shot just past the tee. Alright? So play over's 29, Dean. Alright, down the forehand, 29, 3/4. You go down and draw the shot. Be a good goal, good bowl here. In you go, bud. Through the toe. Open palm through the toe. Good. Speed looks good. That's a good arc, Dean, and a good speed here. You got big chances. Stay up. Stay up. Come here to me. Stay up. Oh, you might have just knocked him up. Hard luck. You were 1 yard short. It was a perfect line. Well done. There were 2 or 3 down. You just touched him down one roll and you've got to bowl out to the right about a metre away. I don't know whether the front one's fairway short, so hopefully it's only 2, but he's got a bowl in his hand. Played this pretty good, I think. This is a good bowl, Tom. Yeah, it is. Always dying quick though. Come to me. Did die quick. It's a great line. Might be 3 down. Look on from here. Yep, 3. Yeah, definitely 3.
3 for Tom.
Yep.
3 for Tom. 19, 14, 5. That's a marathon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long game. Getting lots of ones, so it keeps it long. There you are. Not always. It's all good, Dean. I'll get 2 back here, go to 1916. See where he goes. Yeah, it's live. Just on the line or just inside it? That's the tee, 29 metres. That's really what we've been playing, 28, 29. Let's go down the forehand, draw some shots. He's played his first bowl, he's got a better arc because he's been down this narrow a couple of times. There you go, Dean. Handy bowl, Tom. 29, you can do this. Good. 29. Here we go. They're a bit tight. Just get the arc, get out to the toe. Stay there. Speed's good. Well, no, you're probably a yard short looking at it. It's just gone off so narrow it's hard to judge exactly. All good. We can do this. It takes one good bowl in the end. That's all we want. Tom's played his second one. Looks better, I think, than Morias. We're going to go ahead and draw a touch of good bowl. He's a foot away, and you go, buddy. They want another metre, Dean, so that's a 29. Just come back one finger to your right. In we go. Through the toe. I think you're up, Dean. We're line game lost because we're 2 down, so you cannot be short. We wanted a metre, and now we want 2 metres. We still want a wee bit more grass as well. All right, you can go and draw that. You can do that. It's a 2 metre draw to 29.30. Tom's gone wider, too wide probably. So you get within a yard, you get at least second shot, and you might even get shot. All right. So let's see what we can do. There you go, buddy. Get 2 metres, Dean. Finger to your left. Good. There we go. You can draw this. Through the toe, buddy. 2 metres. Nice clean delivery. We got out too wide, I think. Stay there. Speed's good. It might be a metre over. But you had to give that a chance, but you're out wide. Just forced it wide when you're going for that extra speed. So we just got to get it down through the 10. You can draw this. It's only one that's mat length away and the rest are miles away. Handy here, I think. Both are mat length away. No, let's get rid of boulder play.
Boulder play. Oh, sorry.
And please hush. Please hush while we're on the mat. Okay. Thanks. All right, Dean, you go and draw the toucher. All right. Through the toe. Keep that similar speed, Dean. You wouldn't want to back off that metre. All right, through the toe. All good. All good. hit an arc. Might be a tiny bit quick, might not be. Might be too fast. Now you can come and shake hands. Just too fast. Well played, Tom. Well done, Gay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good
Well
game,
done,
too.
Tom.
Thank you, Dan.
Where are you?
Thank you.
It's a
Well done, boys.
marathon. Yeah.
Well done, Dino.
Yep.
Well done, buddy.
Yep.
And well done to you guys.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank
There we
you.
go, buddy. 21-14. Well done. It's all good. You sailed, you went 2 metres too fast. You had to give it a chance, but you were just a bit heavy. All right, all good, buddy. All Toms. Thanks, Wendy.